Hello everyone and welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday. Why did the screen capture turn off while I was on the other screen? I don't know. Let me fix it while I'm talking. That'll make it... Nope, that's the wrong one. I'm making it even worse. I'm nailing it right now. Don't worry. Give me a moment and I will fix it. Is that correct? I did it. Hi everyone. How are you? Hold on. The sub goal thing is... Wait. There we go. Hey. How's everyone doing? Good? I hope so. Starting a little later today. Sorry about that. But we have all sorts of tinfoily goodness to look at. Let's see what I missed. Empty the Tanks with 30 bits says, oh boy, I was glad to see you went live. I'm in the hospital and desperately in need of entertainment and company. Oh no, I hope you're doing okay. I hope it's not, excuse me, something too serious, but it's a hospital, so... Kinda strikes me as serious. I hope that whatever it is, it's not too bad and that you're doing alright, relatively speaking. Empty the read that one. Wow, I need to take 3 seconds before I read the next thing so I can realize that I'm reading the same thing twice in a row. Cotton Candy, thanks for 15 months, says, woo, 15 months. We're at 60% to level 3, by the way. Remember, it's Tinfoil Tuesday, so hype trains, get... tinfoil. I was trying to make a rhyme, but I ain't got nothing. Rah Inks says, hi Hannah, hope your day has been good so far. I haven't been able to catch streams lately, so I'm catching up on VODs. I start my new job tomorrow morning. Super excited, but I'm nervous. Well, congratulations. I hope that's super great. New Leviathan, thank you for 7 months. It's been a while since I watched you live, but I try to stay to date with your YouTube. Thank you. I hope the YouTube has been enjoyable. Mixed Gothy Queer, thank you for 17 months. Alpaca Scent, thanks for gifting a sub. Purple Pondini, thanks for 1,000 bits. Queer Who Bear, thank you for 6 months. Everything Else Is Taken Yo, thank you for 17 months. Cotton Candy says, hi Hannah, how are you? I've been in a rough headspace lately, but I'm looking for a new job. No one has called back yet, and I'm putting out more applications. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're able to get a call back soon. How have I been doing? I'm out of my medication. I said this on stream the other day too. I'm out of my medication and have been for a while, so I'm pretty depressed and anxious, and they can't get me in till November to get more meds, so that sucks. But I'm not trying to make it about me, but that's how I'm doing. Dude Spanking Dude says, I found an amazing vid. How to bake a cake for a racist? Okay. Maybe for a cleanse later. Purple Pondini with another 1,000 bits says, more tinfoil. Let's see where we're at with the hype train after that 1,000 bits. Remember, it's still, we're in the last days of September up until I think the 30th at noon Pacific time. I believe it's still 20% off all gift subs or subs for yourself. Chris Broken, thank you for subscribing at Tier 1. I like this shirt, by the way. I got this shirt at Torrid. It reminded me of the Karate Kid because of the Cobra. Bitter Grin with 30 bits says, bits for foil. Thank you. MH Darkbeast says, hey Hannah, can't believe the shit that Call is pulling on Surist. I reported Call's video about him. That man needs to be locked up. He at least needs to be banned from YouTube and Patreon. My thing would be, if anyone's having any efforts to try and make these platforms aware of Call, I think the most important one would be Patreon. Because if you can remove that source of income for him, that's a big hit. So if you want to help Surus and me, because he's focusing on Surus right now, but I imagine he'll get mad at me soon enough. I mean, he's already mad at me, but he tends to pick on Surus more. I don't know why. Report Call's Patreon. like, tell them he's an anti-Semitic piece of shit. He's a conspiracy theorist, spreading medical misinformation, etc., etc. What's Call doing to Surus? Call is linking Surus's videos to his followers and telling them to report Surus for things that Surus is not doing. Like, it's one thing if someone's actually breaking TOS, like Call does often, but, like, he's telling people, or his justification, wink wink justification, like, there was a video that Surus did where he was debunking, someone who had COVID medical misinformation or something, and the person who was giving the misinformation happened to be a black guy. So Call's like, report Surus's channel for being racist. You know, the dumb kind of, like, they think that's what we're doing, so they're doing it, even though Call is actually, like, anti-Semitic. Anyway, you get it. Basically, he's having his people mass flag Surus's channel. So, if you would like to help Surus and try and stop Call from being one of the worst people on YouTube, report his Patreon, report his YouTube, etc., etc. Little Leafy says Peter is trying to speedrun a Twitch ban, it seems, between doxing and showing Razor Fist stuff, and more. He probably ain't gonna last too long on here. That's fine. If that happens and I can't cover Peter anymore, that's fine. I'll just start covering him on the patron-only streams, because on the patron-only streams, since I'm streaming on YouTube, I can show stuff that I can't show on Twitch. So I'll just start looking at Peter's stuff on the patron-only streams, if I have to. Or just relaying information to you secondhand. Whatever. Bittergrin says bits for tinfoil if I missed that. Pseudosapien, thanks for 15 months, says I hope you feel a bit better soon, and I hope you get furnished with every of the meds. For what it's worth, Breen is still working on his new film, Hope Streams Eternal. Yeah, I'm excited for the next Breen thing. Littlest Little Leafy with 30 bits says, Peter, I already read that one. Wow. I'm doing a bad job focusing today. Sorry. Harold Elbowman the 4th, thanks for gifting a sub. Slow Brewed Pot Noodles, thanks for gifting a sub. Vast Lunacy, thank you for gifting 10 Tier 1 subs. That brings you up to 300 total in the channel, which is absolutely absurd. Thank you so much for all the support you've given. Joey is Strong, thanks for your Tier 1 gift sub. Mori Miku, thank you for 50 bits, as I tried to do something with a Bible Man sample, but I think I can only make cursed edits. Let's see.
What you all say about me is not about me. It's about America. You people out there are defending.
Yeah, I'm on the cancellation list. They said they'd call me if anything comes up, but... Nick says, Hype Train. Oh wait, I'm late. We already won. Yay. Ooh, this Cobra shirt and this fucking, like, that's a look. This is striking. I am powerful. Look at this. Look at this. Neon Cobra, fucking reflective silver jacket. I'm killing it. If I ever gain superpowers, this is my superhero outfit. The tinfoil lass.
This is the time to destroy the evil. If you want to save your career, you better do it right. Because I guarantee you will not be even in Congress next year, let alone as Speaker of the House. You have let honor down. We are no longer trusting you. Never trusted. Your life was but we trust less.
I need to get some spirit glue or something so I can just... Oh, it kind of stays. If I remain relatively still, this kind of stays in my face. Chris Broken says, "Hi Hannah, finally caught you live. I love hearing your YouTube channel while driving for my funeral. I hope this message finds you well." Thank you. Tea with Goblins, thanks for 8 months, says, "Time to paint the nursery and charge the blood signals. The time of our infernal sub-baby approaches." Logarth says, "I was trying to find some positive news today, but all I found was some guy killed his girlfriend on a cross-country trip. Some kid drove over six cyclists he was trying to, quote, roll coal on, and that U.S. government is like 2 days from shutdowns because Republicans again. Please give me some good news." The new Hot Wheels game looks good. Oh, shit. Zealous55 says, "Sorry to rehash, but I came in at the end of you mentioning you won't be covering Peter on Twitch." Oh, it's if he gets banned. He's just doing stuff on Twitch that might get him banned. I'll still cover him up until that point. And if he gets banned, then, R. Kelly is going to jail. That's true. That's a positive. Empty the Tank says, "May I say, Hannah, you look lovely today. Thank you." Logar says, "The good news is, eventually we're all going to die in the eternal slumber. We shall finally be free from this cursed existence." Not really. Because when you're dead, you're not conscious. You're just dead. You just don't exist anymore. So all that you are is this. And when you die, that's the end of you. And that's the end of everything. And then just the percentage of your life that was good or bad is final. And it's over. And that's it. Pseudosapien says, "Have you seen the vid floating around of anti-vaxxers removing the vax after getting it using cupping, waiting for them to discover leeches?" Honestly, if they still get it and think that does it, that's fine. They're wrong. But at least they're getting vaccinated. Fuck this. I gotta attach an actual, like, elastic band to that or something so it's easy to get on. Nick says, "My 16-star emulator time is down to 2049, so that's some good news." I'm glad. This is scary. Alright, let's find something to watch. Oh, by the way, does anyone remember what this lady's channel was? I know we had watched this quite a while ago, but I can't remember her channel, and I can't find it.
They are putting children in your food. Those are pedophile codes. Pedophile codes. If Twitter will not let me post, I will fight back and show you on Periscope in real live time. What does that look like to you? In your food. It is horrific.
Again, does anyone remember? I'm looking for this lady's channel. Raven says she seems like a nice lady. Yeah.
This is where I'm coming back at you, Illuminati!
Tea with Goblin says, "Maybe not good news, but super adorable. I don't know how you feel about plushes, but this is very cute and thematically appropriate. Leeches anyone?" Plague Doctor, cute. What is she talking about? She thinks there's children in food. She thinks there's kids in the toaster strudels or something.
You! McDonald's is connected to the Clintons. They chop up the bodies and put them into the sausage and hamburgers. People are being cannibalized.
I actually looked this up. I think the first time, which was the last time we watched this video, we did the math on this, and if McDonald's was putting human meat in... No, she's not a post, she's real. I looked into it the last time we watched it. She's for realsies. If you were to... Because McDonald's, I don't know if anyone knows this, McDonald's is the #1 provider of food to humans in the world. McDonald's serves the most food to humans in the world as a single entity. Fun. Anyway, so if McDonald's had to put a human in every one of their burgers, like, millions of people a day would go missing, or it was tens of thousands. I don't remember. It was a ridiculous number. I know I looked it up, and we did the math last time. It was crazy.
Look it up. Now, somebody had an argument with me over that. You know what? Go look it up. Rabbi Finkelstein, who worships Satan in the synagogue of Satan.
I mean, based on the fact that he's in a synagogue and you're calling him a rabbi, I'm guessing no. Jewish people don't believe in Satan. At least not in the Christian sense. Satan comes from the name Satan, which actually means the adversary. It doesn't mean Satan. It doesn't mean the same thing as what Christians perceive Satan to be, which is basically a fallen angel, Lucifer, that shit.
Admits it to a man who worships in the Jewish synagogue of Yahweh. There's two different types of Jews. Jesus came at them. McDonald's is connected to the Clinton Foundation as well as Monsanto. Monsanto is connected to the Clinton Foundation. Everything is the Clintons. Claire, I've got much more to show you. See, I'm coming at you. Keep on sucking.
What kind of job do I think Call has? I think his primary job is his YouTube. He makes a lot of money on Patreon. That's why I'm saying if you cut off his Patreon and make them aware of the fact that they're platforming an anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist who spreads medical misinformation and gets his Patreon cut off, he might have to stop making so many videos because he'll have to get a real job. Andrew Batella says, I am the Clintons. You are the Clintons. Everyone is the Clintons! Colston says, how much does he make? Too much. I don't remember when the last time I looked was. I can look in a little bit, though. Pseudosapien does a hydrate. Will do. Pixels Falling, thank you for 2 months. Says, are my YouTube sub years transferable? Unfortunately, no. He has 565 patrons, so I'm guessing many of them give more than $1. That's pretty good. That's more patrons than I have.
Hard candy is pedophile code. You think this is for me? Let's talk about the children. Let's talk about the children. In your food. Sweet, sour, gone. Kids rule.
Tiger White says, wait, I'm confused. How does McDonald's triple bracket connected? Triple bracket? I don't know. I really don't. It's got to be something that bounces around conspiracy websites, because I've heard the McDonald's thing before. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know what they're... Like, obviously the logic is always flawed, but usually there is some justification for why they connect things to other things, even if it's a dumb justification. I've never heard their supposed justification for the McDonald's thing. Where's the link to this? Right here, if you'd like it. Again, I'm looking for this lady's full channel. I had it at some point, but I don't remember what her name was.
Red shoes. Sacrifice. Child sacrifice. In your food. The joke is on you.
Raven says it comes out of their ass. It comes directly from their ass, Hannah. I know, but usually they try and justify it.
The joke is on you! Oh, the sweet life. Red.
Okay, what's annoying me more than most of the stuff in this video is she has a sticker on her phone, I just noticed. What kind of psychopath puts a fucking sticker on their phone screen? What the hell? Like, if it's on the back or something, that's one thing. But don't stick a sticker on the screen of your phone. What are you doing? Oh, it is over the camera. You're right. She's paranoid. She's covering the camera intentionally. Good call.
Shoes.
Sometimes I forget how paranoid they
Yeah,
are.
Tracy's screaming. Panther's here! The Panther is here!
Does anyone have the Panther is here on the bingo card? Pyromancer says, shout all words. This makes me sound authoritative. Raven says, she's clearly got it all together upstairs, so I'm sure there's a perfectly good reason. The Panther is here!
I don't know what we're yelling about!
Vast Lunacy says, the Panther's here! Roar! Okay, for those who don't know, the Panther thing. It's hard to type with these gloves on. Sorry. So for those who don't know, the Panther thing, I think she's referencing a specific mural at the Denver International Airport, because another conspiracy theorist has brought this up. There's a mural, and conspiracy theorists think the murals at the Denver International Airport, or maybe they're not even there anymore, I don't know, but they were at some point, and they think that these are like prophetic, not even prophetic, but like predictive programming, and these murals are predictors of what the future is going to be. And one of the things is there's this panther, or some other wild cat, and they think this panther is representative of like the Antichrist or something like that. So when she's yelling, the Panther is here. And this is the thing, too. A lot of people who are conspiracy theorists come off as completely incoherent. And in fairness, some of them are incoherent. But, like, to her, and to people who know what she's talking about, even though it's not true, like, she's talking about a thing. She's not randomly bringing up a panther. She's talking about a specific conspiracy theory. It's always interesting how when you know their lore, when you know the conspiracy bullshit, at least what they're saying sounds coherent even though it's not true. You know what I mean? Whereas to an outside perspective, just it sounds like a random lady yelling, the Panther is here.
Yeah, Tracy's screaming. Panther's here! The Panther is here!
It's too good. Tea with Goblin said she's got a point. I mean, panthers are clearly fearsome harbingers of doom. Oh!
Что? Молочка нет, да? Ну, блин.
This mural, and there's a link.
Нет.
Yes. Yep. It's this big cat up here. You can see it. Kind of top middle left. Again, I don't know if that's a panther or if it's something else, but I think that's what she's referencing. Are panthers always black? So it's probably some other kind of wild cat, but I think that's what she's trying to reference. Little Leafy says, back before the world was insane, I saw a conspiracy vid about the Denver murals. The guy said, in the Bible, there's a passage that says, and the Panther's name was Barack Obama, X'd out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember back in 2008, everyone was like, isn't it weird that we're electing a guy whose name was in the Bible? Magpie, thanks for the bit. Slowguard says, is the Panther here with us right now? Andrew Patella says, Hannah, you shouldn't spend so much time on conspiracy theory forums, otherwise we'll never get word salad on bingo. True. True. Snow leopard. Okay. I think she's just calling it a panther then for some reason. This is the origin of the McDonald's thing. Okay, we can watch that after we're done watching her.
I'm not gonna apologize for my knowledge! Come at me, bro.
Bitter Grin says, panthers are always black. They're either melanistic leopards or jaguars. Tucker White says, I get the feeling this might answer it. What the fuck is this? Panther, the medieval bestiary. Panther says, a gentle beast. Only the dragon is its enemy. This is just about panthers in mythology. Interesting.
Bring that target! I'm ready for your impact! I got your threats! Target! I'm a money target, people! Nobody cares. Except for you guys. But the panther, the pain in Tracy Herman's eyes, is here! Let the panther roar. I don't care what any of you think. I don't care anymore. Come back, come here and bash me, because God is going to get you. He's going to get you.
That's always weird to me. I hate when Christians or any religious person, like, they clearly are vindictive and want to hurt you, but they recognize it's socially unacceptable to just tell someone, like, I hate you and I hope you get hurt. So they think it's, and for some reason it feels more socially acceptable to say, well, God's gonna hurt you, as if that's better. Like, that's not better. Mike says, my name is in the Bible, so what does that mean, Dark Helmet? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Raven with a link.
How old were you when you found out we really have white panthers out here? Nah, but this is 100% real. It's an incredibly rare type of cougar. This picture was the first time this Caucasian cougar was ever captured, and ever since, it's never been seen again. And even though it looks like a cultural appropriating panther, its color is caused by leucism, which is a condition that causes partial loss of pigmentation in an animal, as you can see here. But it's not albinism. Albino animals have total loss of pigmentation, where leucistic animals have partial. The way to tell the difference are whether the eyes are affected. Leucism is actually somewhat common among big cats like lions and tigers, but it's almost never been seen in cougars, which makes this honest to God DLC. And even though I already made the joke, they're not white panthers. Panthers are lions, tigers, jaguars, leopards, and snow leopards, and cougars are more related to small cats like the lynx, bobcat, and the pet next to you. This photo was snapped in 2013, almost exactly 8 years ago, and nobody's seen this pale puma since, which is why I truly believe this cat was a glitch in the system. Also, I was gonna make a white cougar joke, but most of y'all aren't old enough to get it anyway.
Crizzy says, colloquially, panthers aren't melanistic leopards or jaguars, but Panthera is a genus of big cats. Andrew Patella says, ma'am, are you sure you've taken your meds today? Rob Bloom says the Bible thing almost makes sense for Trump. After all, the word ass appears everywhere in the Bible, and he's the biggest, hugest, the most fantastic ass. Fast Lunacy says, God and the rhythm, always gonna get ya. Tucker White says, does this panther shit count for spurious symbology? Also, hood nature is fucking awesome. Sure, that'll count. Tea with Goblin says, me being dragged out of Christian bookshop, mouthful of half-chewed Bible pages. I won't apologize for my knowledge.
Hello, everyone.
I have been through enough. You guys know it. I don't have to apologize for anything. And I won't. I won't. Now, I'm going to show you something else. When Honeybee, Jolly Ranchers, not Rangers, Jolly Ranchers, spit them out. It's right there on the package in front of you. Cannibalism, they're putting it in your food. Children cannibalized, spirit cooking the world. I am one woman out here. Buckle up, because you know what? Any day I can get shot for this. Any day they can come after me. Nobody cares. You want to see something? Let me show you something. Heart Progress came after me. Honeybee, if you go watch Hagman Report when Honeybee was bringing this out. Heart Progress is a pedophile advocacy group. They came after me. They came after me and they were going to dox me. They did dox me.
Who's she talking about? There's a group that, I don't know if this is still a thing. It's kind of a little bit like the Chris Chan situation. You know how people online who are assholes will find, like, specific of a person who's, like, mentally ill or whatever, and then they'll, air quote, troll them and fuck with them for fun? Same thing here. Like, this lady's clearly got something going on in terms of, like, paranoia. So yeah, the group she's talking about, at least at the time of this, would fuck with her and, like, make fake websites to screw with her and make her think that, like, the cabal is after her. Really, really messed up stuff. Mike Mac says, so that's the White Panther that Chuds always bring up when the white characters are replaced. Tucker White with a link.
What? What?
And that's when I brought my real name out. People are accusing me of not putting this information out. I put this information out over 1.5 years ago. She's lying, don't listen to her, get out! If you want to sit here and say that I'm lying, God's gonna knock you down! By the way, I'm drinking cranberry juice. Don't you love getting accused of drinking red wine? People say I'm drinking red wine. This is cranberry juice. Can you deal with cranberry juice?
Did you put vodka in it?
Get the hell out of my scope. You are unwanted.
Because that strikes me as a weird thing to do if she's not drinking. Okay, let me... As someone who has had alcohol problems in the past, if you're just drinking cranberry juice just because you like cranberry juice, and in fairness, cranberry juice is delicious. I like cranberry juice just on its own. I should get some, actually. I haven't had it in a long time. Or cran grape. Cran grape's really good. If I want a glass of cranberry juice, I'll just go to the kitchen and pour a glass of cranberry juice and then put the container back in the fridge. But if you're an alcoholic and you're drinking vodka and cranberry, then you bring both with you to wherever you're going to sit, and then you make mixed drink after mixed drink after mixed drink, so you don't have to keep getting up. Just a thought. It strikes me as weird that she's got the bottle with her.
You want to sit
Her account was terminated by YouTube. That tracks.
here and bash me? She's lying. Here comes Satan. Here comes the trolls, because they're going to come after me. Let me tell you something. You know what? Bring it on.
Jody Girl,
Bring it
thanks
on.
for 9 months. Ooh, we gotta do a stream baby. This stream baby's name is Fjord McNasty. The stream baby's name is Fjord McNasty. Pyromancer says, but cranberry is made from grandparents. It's right there in the name. Gran. Stone Corbell says, everyone who disagrees with me is Satan. True.
If I have to go down telling the entire world this, then I am the one woman that will be remembered for standing up for the little children and the babies at the hand of Hillary Clinton. When are you going to handcuff this bitch? Handcuff Hillary Clinton. Because if the Clinton Foundation Network is
Knowing Bill, she's probably been in handcuffs before.
the largest child sex trafficking operation in the world. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What? Kathy O'Brien, I'm on your side. You want to get together, Kathy O'Brien? Let's go. I will stand up for you.
Why are they obsessed with Hillary? Because Fox News has been pumping Clinton. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty to hate about the Clintons. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, absolutely, like, totally. But, like, the focus they have on the Clintons, I think, is primarily because Fox News and other right-wing news sources have been pumping a steady stream of the Clintons are the worst people in the country for decades. Not to mention now that's been infused with conspiracy stuff that says the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation is, like, satanic or pedophilic. Again, like, if it came out, though, that, like, Bill Clinton was absolutely a part of the Epstein stuff, and as far as I know, they were friends, or at least knew each other, and he may have gone, I don't know if there's actual proof that he went, like, to the island or whatever. It wouldn't surprise me. I think being a piece of shit is nonpartisan. And fuck Bill Clinton if he was a part of that. But conspiracy theories have basically said that they think that the entirety of, like, the Clinton Foundation is, like, pedophilic or whatever. It's all sorts of fucked up. Simple Cat Girl says, I never understand the people who make their whole personality of making efforts to troll clearly mentally ill people to the point of awful consequences. Like, Chris Chan isn't a good person, but the trolls were whole other monsters. Agreed. And now the whole Chris situation has spun out of control, and Chris is now in jail. Chrysia says, why the fuck are they so obsessed with Hillary? The reasons I already mentioned. Andrew says, and everyone realizes that you are the savior of the children, and everyone clapped. Tucker White says, okay, I'm one space away from bingo, so Hannah, if you could mention blank and or blank, that would be excellent. Nick says, isn't it convenient how all the satanic kitty diddlers are on the left? That's the funny thing, because, like, I hope every single person, I don't think they will, because I don't think justice exists for the rich in this country, or basically anywhere on Earth. Humanity's kind of fucking awful. But, like, I'm sure tons of rich and powerful people whose names we would probably recognize, were involved in the Epstein stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, you know, plenty of high-profile senators and Congress people. Wouldn't surprise me at all. But it's not a partisan thing. It's a rich people thing. Dr. White says, well, considering Bill Clinton made the worst aspects of Ronald Reagan bipartisan, he kind of is. Oh, shit. Lance, thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. I'm Hannah. This is Tinfoil Tuesday. We're taking a look at conspiracy theories, and right now we're looking at a lady who thinks McDonald's is putting children in your hamburgers. Colston said, and of course, everyone, I'm sure you already follow Lance over at the Surfs TV, but if you haven't, go do so. Excellent watch. Colston says, if Chris Chan was institutionalized, how do you think people would still try to fuck with her, or did they find a new lol cow? I mean, they already do troll other people. Like, the Kiwi Farms is not mainly Chris Chan stuff anymore. It's all sorts. Like, everyone's on the Kiwi Farms. I have a couple threads on the Kiwi Farms. But, I don't know. I'm sure people will still try to fuck with Christy. Nick says, the Surfs send their regards. Again, thank you, Lance. I don't know if you're still here, but appreciate ya.
Texas reckless more than you know. Who would want to carry the burden and the fight that I have? Would you like it? Here comes the Panther. I don't care what you think. I am pissed.
That's a panther.
In your face. Think about what the children go through. You sit there and you think about what children go through. You know, everybody sit there and say, oh, she's freaking out. You should be freaking out. Get out, Tony Colts.
Can I have a headphone today?
You know, here comes the people to discredit me. Yeah, okay. You think I'll ever forget the pictures I found when my son was being groomed?
Oh yeah, I remember this part of the video. This is super sad. Like, she's obviously incredibly paranoid, but also it sounds like her child was also, like, sexually abused at some point.
That's awful.
And she never, like, dealt with that trauma and is now projecting it onto the entire world. Really sad stuff. Decker White says, so how many lines of cocaine do you think this woman snorted before the stream? Nah, it's just cranberry juice. It's just white, powdery cranberry juice. Kippy says, all the more reason to support abortion. Keeps what? Oh, keeps children from being made into literal kids' meals. What do you think the chicken nuggets are made out of?
Children get groomed.
Alright. Let's look at the video that tries to explain the McDonald's cannibalism thing.
So lately there has been a story going around on the internet about a Jewish rabbi named Abe Finkelstein, who supposedly is a corrupt Jewish rabbi who mentions that he kills babies and grinds them up and puts them into McDonald's hamburger meat.
I mean, we steal 100 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country, and we drain the blood and we mix it with the Passover bread, and then we throw the bodies into the slaughterhouses that we own, and we grind up all the bodies in the sauce.
What is this, a villain monologue? That also sounds like quite a bad stereotypical Jewish accent. Yikes. Yeah, this is overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card. Oh, I forgot to mention, Raiders, for those who don't know, yeah, this is blood libel, which I'll talk about in a second. For people who came from the raid, we do bingo every Tinfoil Tuesday, and the first person to win bingo gets a gift sub. So get a link to the bingo card in the chat if you'd like to play. Just when different conspiracy tropes get mentioned, mark the thing off. Tiger White says, please, we know this is how McDonald's gets its meat.
Veal farms.
Sausage in a hamburger.
Mike Mack says, lady, what the fuck do you do to help children or really help people like you do jack shit to help children in this country or around the world? Y'all only want attention. That's the thing about the hashtag save the children QAnon types. They're not doing anything. They act like they're fucking helping save people, and they're doing nothing. It's so frustrating.
McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets, and the people, they eat it for breakfast, they eat it, their children for lunch, and, you know, as Jews, you know, we gotta...
The thing about conspiracy theorists is it strikes me that they know very little about how the world actually functions. Because if you just think about it, like put the morals aside. Of course, it would be immorally wrong to, like, kidnap and murder children to make hamburgers. Or for any reason. But, just looking at this, like, from a cynical economic perspective, do you know how expensive and unprofitable it would be to kidnap children as the primary source of meat for your restaurant? Not only are you going to have to procure all of the individual children, which, by the way, gonna be levels of, like, magnitude more expensive than just, you know, having some sort of factory farm. But you're going to kidnap children, pay people exorbitant prices to kidnap these children, because you gotta not only pay them for the job, but hush money for the rest of their lives. Get them, bring them to some sort of child butcher, who again is getting paid a ridiculous amount of money, not only to know how to butcher children, but to keep quiet about it, on an industrial level for decades, and then they get this burger to you, and it costs $1.30. I don't know what a McDouble goes for these days. Like, it just from a cynical perspective doesn't even make sense. Littlest Little Leafy says, I always wax poetic about my nefarious plans into a recording device. Raven says, it's totally made out of this.
Professor Ikeda has invented the first steaks based on proteins from human excrement.
Oh God, why? No! What?
They're actually real.
That's disgusting.
をなんとか月
Tucker White says, but Hannah, the fresh adrenochrome makes child burgers worth it.
当局からの依頼を受けて、月
It's 63%.
I don't like that. Killjoy says it tastes like shit. Rublum says mini cleanse, the kitty baby who tries to keep the depression away. Cute kitty.
Do what we do. The most important thing to remember between you, Pastor Wickstrom, and me, Rabbi Abie Finkelstein of New York, that we both have two fathers, and so that's why we look at the world in two different ways.
I just have to refute this story because after researching it for hours and hours and hours, I've only come to find out there are about 2 websites that it goes to, that it leads to, all of which are dead ends. This real character, Abe Finkelstein.
Would people develop Kuru? Is Kuru only because of eating brain? Or no, as long as they didn't do the brain, it'd be fine.
Is just that. He's a character developed by someone who decided to call up this radio program and produce a massive hoax, of which the person who was doing the interview, this Pastor James Wickstrom, who is...
Gee, I wonder what his motive was. Let's put our Sherlock Holmes deerstalker caps on, folks. What would this guy's motive have been to make this conspiracy? Overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card, in case I need to say it. Chrysia says, who the fuck introduces themselves like that in the middle of the conversation? Nick says, another kitten cleanse. That is also a cute kitty.
Since dead as of March 2018, fell for it hook, line, and sinker, and actually believed that there was a genuine Jewish individual calling up his radio show. The actual truth and the facts behind it is that this was a massive hoax. A little background information about James Paul Wickstrom. He was an American, this is from Wikipedia, mind you, was an American radio talk show host, Christian minister, white supremacist, anti-Semite, who lived in Linwood, Michigan.
Oh, god damn it. Why is our home state the worst? Michigan and Florida. Peninsulas. I'm telling ya. Something's wrong with peninsulas. Drives people fucking crazy. It's because there's only one land avenue of retreat. Makes people anxious.
For his many strong right-wing opinions, he was intensely anti-communist, denounced those who he perceived to be communist. Anyways, getting to the point, and really it was just a prank that originated on this talk show. So I'm going to go ahead and read some of the comments after doing some further research. Somebody asked the question on Q Aura.
Can we give a Michigan spot on the bingo card? That's not a bad idea. Mike says, because they're the dick of the nation. That's an original joke. I don't think anyone's ever compared Florida to a penis before, actually. You should copyright that. I've never heard that before. That's genius. Why am I such an asshole?
The website where you can ask questions. So, I'm going to read some of the responses.
Peninsulas are the cul-de-sacs of land masses.
Here's one of the answers. Absolutely not. I actually took the time to listen to part of the ridiculous interview with the so-called rabbi. Any Jew would spot it as fake in seconds. It's clearly just some Klansman or other white...
What squares have we had on the bingo card? I don't know. You'd have to ask me about specific ones. Nick says, can't spell peninsula without penis. If you remove some letters, yeah.
White supremacist or basically
one
a
letter,
heckler who's got time on their
and then
hands.
other ones.
Practicing how to fake a Yiddish accent. This guy says the accent's the first giveaway. It's clearly someone...
Narnandia Owl says, my god, Sherlock, I believe you may have solved the mystery. Musicals Lover says, you and Jake are some of the good aspects of Michigan. Thanks.
Shamming a yeshiva Jew accent. It's good enough imitation to fool someone who doesn't know any better, but nowhere near good enough to fool someone who has spent time around actual Yiddish speakers. The name, even the name Abe Finkelstein, also does not work with someone who has an accent like this. If they called him Avram Finkelstein, maybe, but I don't buy Abe. Abe sounds like a second or third generation American, at least and almost certainly modern Orthodox or conservative, not yeshivish or Hasidic. That is an accent either for a man in his 90s or a Williamsburg Hasid, except it actually isn't convincing enough to pass. I've never met a Hasid who would go by the name Abe. The next huge giveaway is that the rabbi responds to rather insulting, put-down questions of the interview. His responses are exactly what an anti-Semite, or a hoaxer in this case, would expect a Jew to say rather than what a Jew would actually say, leaving aside
Quiet One, thanks for gifting us up.
the obvious fact that no self-respecting Jew would ever go on a show like this in the first place. People, you got to question what you're seeing, what you're hearing on the internet. Not all of it's true. The third giveaway is the fact that Rabbi has no
Would people do that? Would they just go on the internet and lie? Why?
knowledge of authentic Judaism. It just confirms the interviewer's prejudices about Judaism with comments that mimic apologetics, but actually simply repeat and reinforce anti-Semitic myths and tropes. For a rabbi, quote-unquote, Abe Finkelstein is pretty clueless about the basics of Judaism. This interview is a pathetic piece of agricultural theater aimed at trying to revive a bunch of medieval lies about Jews. I could go on and on and on, but basically this particular commenter is calling this out as an elaborate skit.
Yeah. Makes sense. I don't think I need to watch the rest of this.
the
I assume
screen.
he's just going to be, reiterating that, showing a hoax website about it. Stuff like that. Interesting, though. That's basically the origin. In one way or another, that's the origin of a ton of conspiracy theories, is someone was doing either fucking with someone, telling a joke, or someone misinterprets something someone else said. At that point, it takes on a life of its own. Conspiracy theorists start repeating this idea to each other like it's a meme. Because it is a meme. I just mean in the modern sense, as opposed to the Richard Dawkins memetic sense. But it is a meme also in both senses. So, conspiracy theorists very rarely will look at the original source, in my experience. Will very rarely look at the original source of claims. They will just hear it from someone else, who has heard it from someone else, who's heard it from someone else, and you have a telephone game situation. And then they will assume, because they hear that in their conspiracy circles all the time, that it must be true, it must be validated, and therefore they should continue to spread it. That's very common in conspiracy circles. Honestly, it's pretty common in all circles. It's just exacerbated in conspiracy communities, because they tend to be very unskeptical, credulous people, as long as what they're hearing conforms to their preconceived notions of the world. It's really sad, and it creates a lot of problems. But anyway, we can go do the Giants thing. I know someone asked about the Giants. Sure. Is this really a reptilian? This is Mud Fossil Guy. For those who don't know about Mud Fossil Guy, he thinks that giants existed in Earth's past. His source for this is the Bible. The Bible mentions, I know in Genesis they mention, oh gosh, why am I blanking on their names? The Nephilim. Mentions the Nephilim. And a couple other places in the Bible, Nephilim are mentioned. The Nephilim are the children of male angels. Well, angels are often androgynous. So angels and female women. Female women. I meant human women. And they're giants. They're supposed to be giants. So this guy believes that various rock formations are the skeletons of the aforementioned giants. Narnandia Owl says, it's true because it confirms my preconceived notions, the Peter Hanna method of fact-checking. Dr. White says basically every conspiracy theory is this.
That's right, Squidward. Sea bears are no laughing matter. Why, once I met this guy who knew 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 this guy who knew...
Yes. I can't play more than that. Even that was pushing it. But yes.
Mud Fossil University, Roger, the voice of Mud Fossil University here. And today we're going to be talking about a discovery made long ago, apparently, by an ancestor of Kimberly Ann Montgomery up in Washington State, Seattle area, I believe. And we are going to go into this right now and make sure that you get to Mud Fossil University. Tell everyone you know, your kids, your grandparents, your mother, your father, your uncle, your brother, your sister, everybody. Walk down the street, say, hey, you, go to Mud Fossil University.
Baja, go to mudfossiluniversity.com.
Hey, Hannah, go to mudfossiluniversity.com.
Oh, so did I. Thank you. Tea with Goblin says, I find it interesting that bigots are really bad at pretending to be the people that they want to marginalize, but I reckon people in this chat would probably do a bang-up job of pretending to be a conspiracy, not a religious fundamentalist. Back in 2017, queer-phobic activists made a door-knocking app to campaign against the Australian same-sex marriage campaign. It got flooded with queer people feeding fake data into it to mess up their door-knocking, and no one detected us. I mean, there's a pretty simple reason for that. It's an empathy problem. You can't correctly disguise yourself as someone else if you don't understand them. And secondly, if they had a nuanced understanding of who people are and how people's identities affect who they are, they probably wouldn't be racist. LJ Vaughn, thanks for 13 months, says, woo, haven't caught live in a while. I'm glad you're here. Tea with Goblins, thanks for gifting a sub. Maps and Mimics says, if I put university in the name, people will think it's real. Raven says, going to mudfossilusa.com. And Maps and Mimics says, Dennis Prager and this dude.
Wake up! Alright, let's wake up. Alright, here it is in its full glory, and I mean, it is glorious to me. And I'm seeing the colors of blood, I'm seeing the colors that you expect to see changes. I'm seeing creases where...
The color of lizard blood looks like rock.
You expect to see creases. I'm seeing eyeballs where you expect to see eyeballs. This I have a hard time accounting for, to be perfectly honest with you. Although it is some form of a crown or it is growing from the guy's head. Now, those other statues that we have seen and that Kimberly found seem to indicate that this is not something that's unusual. They were there.
Yeah, he thinks statues... He did a video about the Sphinx, too. He thinks basically any depiction of a human or anything even vaguely human-like, he thinks it's a fossil of a real thing.
Why they're there, I can't...
Am I wearing a Cobra Kai shirt? No, but I did buy it because it reminded me of that. It says, lovesick.
Tell you exactly. Again, this is a soft claim. I don't have this in my hand, but I'm pretty darn sure this thing is valid. All right, as you know, at first I dismissed this, but as I started looking deeper, I don't see any way that anyone could have made this.
Why? Wait, why do you think that someone couldn't have made it? It's clearly just a carving someone did. It's a cool carving, but it's a carving. Why do you think this is impossible for a human to do? People do sculptures and people do carvings all the time.
Could have done this by carving it. I mean,
why?
Look at the eye and look at the actual material.
It doesn't even make sense either, because, like, let's say we're talking about actual fossilization. Like, the soft tissue of your body doesn't fossilize. Your eyeballs don't fossilize, even when fossilization takes place. The fossilization process takes place over a long period of time in very particular conditions, and by the time that process happens, the only thing that's left of your body is the bones that slowly get replaced with non-organic material over time. That's what fossilization is. Your eyeballs cannot become fossilized. They're soft tissue. Your eyeballs are one of the first things to, like... I'm trying to think of a word that isn't gross. Your eyeballs are the first things to go when you die. Like... Decompose. That's good. That's better than saying rot. Thank you. They're moist. Your eyes are wet. Your eyes are wet and goopy. They don't last long. KR Goss says his vagina womb cave video is the best one, though. That's true. We watched it last time, though. Mr. Sir Knight Kingyo says, having read quite a bit of Bible mythology, I always assumed the fallen, English word for Nephilim, was referring to highly revered warriors. Also, I thought that the angels, sometimes referred to as Elohim, were the ancient Jewish way of referring to the lesser gods of religions of surrounding tribes, with the central god of ancient Judaism named El being the father of all the lesser gods, which are now called angels, or maybe I'm just stupid and remembering things wrong. The El thing, because, like, El... You're mostly correct. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to get into a whole Bible thing right now. Bitter Grin says, how does this guy deal with ice sculptures?
Material is, it's just like your eyelashes. It's that type of thing. There's some form of a different...
There's pitting all over the rock from erosion over time. Sergeant Reckless, thanks for 6 months, says 6 months, 3 months to go. This might just get me to join the Patreon if that's where the Peter stuff will be. Again, I think some people misheard me. Peter has not been banned from Twitch yet. So I'm still covering him on this channel, but if he gets banned from Twitch, all I was saying is, because I won't be able to cover him on Twitch anymore, I'll have to cover him on the Patreon-only live streams. But currently, that's not the case. He's still on Twitch. Raven says, only thing I know about Nephilim is from Devil May Cry.
Matter. A different molecular structure to here, which is...
What?
It's the same as in the edges of your skin, the edges of your eyebrows and your eyelids and so forth. And it appears to have some form of a... Something's going on in the eye there. Now, these little dots and spots here, that is the nature of skin. As the very, very outside erodes, you end up with this pattern underneath. I've seen it a million times. Now, the other thing that I can't account for in just accidentally happening is this stuff here. And this crease. You can't make a crease like that. That's a crease from... Just like your face does this as you get older.
No, it's not. It's just a... Oh my god. Has he not seen rocks before? What?
This color in us...
The crease, I don't even know if that's a thing because he'd have to zoom out. I don't know if that's something that was put there by, like, whoever did the other carvings or if it's just a natural aspect of the rock. But, like, rocks absolutely look like that naturally sometimes. Logarth says, I'm high. Is this guy high? I can't tell. Is this guy talking about giants? Stone giants? He is.
Is blood. That is the color of red blood. That's ferrous oxide.
No, it's not. It's oxidized. It's probably part of the rock that's oxidized because it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Does he think that only human bodies have iron in it?
I don't know. Zealous55 says, not to rehash, but I came at the end of you saying you won't cover psych, terrible Jamaican accent. Nonsense, Jesus Christ.
Oxides, FeO3, which is your red arterial blood. And this, I believe, is a bone foramen or a... I don't know what to say. And this appears to be the black area. Usually there's red and black. You seeing what I'm seeing? Maybe you have a different take, but this is what I see, and it sure looks pretty good to me. As I have a hard time seeing this as not being real, to be perfectly honest with you. I can't find a problem here. Now, as you know, Kimberly Ann Montgomery is the one that has discovered this head, and apparently it's been in her family since her grandfather or something. There's a story that goes along with it, and I'm sure she'll comment and leave a comment about it, because it's quite interesting. Now, and it was found, or she had it somewhere.
It looks like a Ninja Turtle. Dr. White says, God, this guy is just exudes charisma, doesn't he? He's a little more charismatic when he's talking about giant vaginas. I'm not gonna lie.
We're up in a Seattle area, up in Washington State, United States. Now, and she's done some fabulous research on this. Went out, and we talked and discussed, online. And I haven't touched this. This is secondhand, and I call this a soft claim. All right, a soft claim means I haven't touched it. I can't be 100% certain. If I could put this in my hand, I could give you what I would consider a certain.
So, like, did the clothes he was wearing? Because clearly in this sculpture, he's wearing some sort of clothing. Does he think his clothes also fossilized somehow? What did he think happened here?
Claim or a certain claim of not, but. Here I am.
What do you think the chances are that this guy believes this stuff, but he doesn't believe in dinosaurs?
50-50. I'm 50-50, genuinely. Yeah. Actually, no, maybe a little higher, because I bet if you asked him, he'd probably say dinosaurs are a cover-up to hide the fact that humanoid giants existed and all dinosaur bones are really giant bones.
Yeah, I think that he probably doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
Tucker White says, wait, he's got videos on giant vaginas and we're watching this boring video on statues? What the fuck is wrong with you, Hannah? We watched the giant vagina video last time. We blew our load way too early. Into the giant vagina.
Giving you a soft, certain claim, because I have not touched it with my hands. You see this? I was looking at hers and looking at this crown. I'm thinking, what is that? But it's on here. You see this? It's a very, very, very similar looking.
He poked his screen so hard it did that thing if you poke a screen. That gives me anxiety. Don't do that.
Thing. Very similar. And there's other ones online of this same look. Now, you know, everybody, oh, what is these guys? Well, who knows? But maybe we do know now. Maybe they were real. This is all I can say is you make your own mind up. And Kimberly done a great job here. So, I have to look. All right, there's a side shot, but I mean, it's quite obvious that there's, I mean, it's been sitting out here apparently for 80 years or something like that. She was saying that it came for a long time ago. So this is not something that, it's just too much chemistry and too much anatomy and too much biology to just dismiss it. Now, I have a hard time about this. I don't know. I don't understand this, and I don't have it in my hand to...
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a mane. It looks like it's supposed to be some sort of depiction of like a lion or something, and that's the mane. But he can't account for that because it doesn't make sense why that would be part of the thing if it turned into rock. Tiger White says, of course humanoid giants exist, Hannah. Despite most of them being in the mid to late 30s in a non-existent farm system, they've got the best record in baseball right now. Oh, there's a team called the Giants. Don't give me sports references. I won't understand them.
Be certain of what's going on there. But it does appear that they show up on other heads.
Is this a fossilized member of my
looking
people?
For answers. Not making any claims. I cannot claim.
That's racist of you to assume all lizard people are the same species, frankly. Winter O'Hare, thanks for 17 months, says, gotta go to work soon, but hello anyway. Love you, Hannah. Well, thank you.
All right, so if you just think that it's impossible for something to be so well preserved, that's wrong. This is the same sort of situation. Only this was in mud,
says, sorry.
This was
You
one
better
of the
be
first mud
sorry.
fossils that I saw outside of my stuff, and it was on TV. Scott Walter got it.
All right, we get it. He thinks statues are real. It's just so weird. I'll play a little bit of the vagina video for those who missed it the other day, because it truly is something to behold. You missed it? Okay, I'll show this to you then.
Yeah, it's Roger once again, Mud Fossil University, today with the most amazing, circuitous route to understanding what we're seeing here. And you say, well, what is that? And I said, well, I think it's a heart.
Wait, was this the correct video? I think it was. I'll skip ahead. Is it? Yeah, I think.
And I'm going to go through the whole gastrulation, everything else, and it's in. Okay, we're going to get to the heart. Just hold.
Yeah.
Hold on, we're going to get back to the heart. I told you this is circuitous. That means we got to go through a bunch of different stages here. Now, this is a vagina. I mean, what can I say? It's a vagina. It's a gigantic vagina, and it's in Bulgaria, Romania, one of those. It's a Trajan monument that they went and worshipped at, and it is literally was from a giant human vagina. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was human. Now, how can I make that absolute assertion? I've had all kind of geologists and people, oh, you do this silly guy talking about foolish, silly things. They carved that. It was just erosion and just water ran off and all that.
I think this is a different vagina cave video than the one I watched. Okay. He must have multiple vagina cave videos, because I swear this is not the one we watched last time. What the hell? Hold on, let me search vagina. Here it is. This is the one we watched last time.
Okay, my friends, Roger, Mudfossil University. If you have...
Tucker White says vagina caves with a link. God damn it. I want to make a moratorium on fucking Family Guy clips. I swear to God, I hate Family Guy. Slow Dog says, I mean, if you've seen one stone vagina, you've seen them all.
Have young kids and you're a little sensitive to graphic reproductive system things, I would remove them. Now, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to get into some reproductive things that they had reverence for in the ancient texts. And what am I talking?
I think the word we settled on was vajavern for these, because we have the dussy, obviously, from previously. So now these are vajaverns, a vagina cavern.
Talking about vaginas. You know I'm big into vaginas. Now, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to get into some vaginas. Now, what did they think of them? And what was a vagina to them? Well, guess what it was? He says the ancient Maya thought that both leaving and entering a sweat bath had the meaning. Leaving was like rebirth, leaving the sweat bath. Entering was like being eaten. I mean, this is just too much for me, I'm going to tell you. And
no one tell him about Vor.
Says the archaeologists think the ancient
Maps
Maya
and Mimic
looked at
says,
entering
Baja
sweat
Bonk.
baths as like being eaten because of some of the doors they found. These doors were built like the mouths of certain beings. They think the doors were the mouths of, that they were doors. They weren't the actual
Fast
mouths.
Lunacy
Well,
says,
listen to
knock
this.
the
There
dussy
were
out of
also
the
doors
frame and
made
go
to look like
spelunking
belly
in the
buttons.
vajavern.
We're looking at creatures that belly button would be no problem to make a door
Freud
out
would
of.
have a
Wait till you
field
see
day
what
with this
I'm
guy.
showing
I think
you.
I said that
Flip
last time
out.
we watched this.
These also had the same meaning as the doors that look like mouths. What's not often mentioned is their...
I'm gonna skip to the vaginas. It's so funny watching him look at these pictures of caves and describe how they're like vaginas.
Get ready. See these... All right, let's look at this very carefully.
I bet you wish you could skip forward
These...
and, have your own vagina.
Yes.
See these balls right here? They come around in a circular pattern. See this? And you see that right up there? This is as much as the pictures are going to get. This is from that same thing. Now I'm going to bring it down the best we can see it. But you can see there, I believe, is the urethra. I believe this is the structure. Now, whether they put these in there or not, I don't know. Because...
You guys know how there's little tiny balls over the top of a vagina, right? You know how there's tons of balls over a vagina? Tucker White says, is this guy eating something? I can barely understand what he's saying. I can't help you. Nick says, I thought you watched cave porn for the plot, Hannah.
There are anchor balls that surround different, like, sphincter muscles and things like that. It's amazing what your body's made of. And I also believe this might be pretty natural as well. Because in between where the legs meet here, there's a little bit of a strip of tendon that anchors into the muscle, and I believe this could very well be it. And then, of course, you have the vaginal entry, and
vaginal.
And this was used as a sweat bath. They go in there, and they talked about being born and eaten and reborn and all that business. And I can see over here, this is the type of tissue material that you would have in the fleshy area heading off into the legs. Now, I don't know about all this little... This looks like somebody
Morak
carved
says,
it or
this is
something.
Spelunker. A lot of caves look like
muscle.
vaginas if you really squint, but this
what
is not
happens
one
is,
of those caves.
You know,
he has some later that I went, oh, if I was crazy, I guess I can see how I could be crazy and think this looks like a vagina. But this one I don't get at all. This looks nothing like a vagina.
Yeah, me neither.
Tea with Goblin says, I'm a goth AFAB, and I often refer to my vagina as a bat cave. Cotton Candy says, can't forget the pussy scales.
Could have been somebody patched this in.
Yeah, you know how like the above your vagina is just like Captain America's armor? It's just scales all the way down.
Or patched this in or whatnot to make it a good entryway. I don't know. But I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing a urethra. I'm seeing a vagina. I'm seeing that. Well, I think they might.
I'm skipping to the next picture. There we go. Okay.
All right, this is the Tracian womb cave. And I absolutely can guarantee you this is real. And again, the same thing. Now, the vestibule was here. The urethra was there. Obviously, that's the vagina. The tissue is surrounding it, is that type of tissue. This little slit right here tells you this is real, because that's the slit that is the weld where the seams come together to fold after the blastula, which is the ball that forms your gut, inverts, and then it welds together. After you get waterlogged, it splits. That's what you're going to see in the womb caves. If you see that split.
God.
What?
He's talking about blastulas and like.
Mr. Sir Knight Kingo says, "This is a man who can find a vagina in anything. Let's not show him the Alien franchise."
You're in the womb. Just to show you, this is what normally there's a ball like this. It's
okay. We get it. He thinks caves are vaginas. Ha ha. Let's move on.
That's fucking crazy.
This channel's fun. This channel it's not one person, it's someone who catalogs various conspiracy TikToks. So it's usually like 10 seconds to a minute or so clips of just different weird conspiracy stuff. So let's take a look at some of these and then we'll move on to a longer form thing.
This might even be too much for conspiracy TikTok, David Icke followers, and reptilian believers. Even time traveler TikTok and fifth dimension goers and even starseeds. Likely not starseeds. If you haven't already seen the documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, go watch it. In a nutshell, it's basically how AI and the algorithm can accurately predict human behavior. Here's my theory, and I've had this for quite a long time. Those people who are considered abnormal by society are actually the next step in the evolutionary chain. I say this because in the documentary it talks about predicting human behaviors based.
The next step in the evolutionary chain kind of only makes sense to talk about in retrospect.
Yeah.
That doesn't really mean anything, like, contemporarily. Evolution is not like a set path that says, ah, yes, you will be these, and then you'll be this, and then you'll be this, and then you'll be this, and then you'll be this. Things just adapt over time, and whatever makes them the most successful at surviving and breeding. I'm sure there are other factors. I'm sure Bahad could get into a whole thing about it, but that's the basics. Are you good at surviving long enough to effectively breed and spread your genetic material? Great. That's the direction things are going then. Whatever genetic stuff made you capable of doing that. There is no future laid out.
Based on what that person does or doesn't do. But those people who have mental or behavioral abnormalities can't accurately be pinpointed by AI or the algorithm, which potentially means that these abnormalities aren't actually abnormalities.
What the fuck? H. Baird says, the internet controls the future and wields control. And weirdos control the internet. QED, Hannah. QED. Tucker White says, abnormal people are the next step in human evolution. That's literally the plot to Predator 2018. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Are you aware of the plot of Predator 2018, Baha?
No.
Predator 2018 says autistic people are just the inevitable next step in human evolution.
Oh.
Yeah. And let me be clear, if somehow autism like became the prevalent dominant like thing in society, I wouldn't care. I don't care. But it's just like kind of a fucked up thing to say in a movie that's like some sort of inevitable like next step. It's just weird. I think it's disrespectful to people with autism.
Okay, I went to Egypt and I came across these artifacts that prove that we had either alien assistance or that we lived in a way more technologically advanced society back then.
Part 2. So, this is the Ben Ben stone. I came across it at the Old Egyptian Museum, and it is not made of...
Are you supposed to be touching that? I feel like most museums don't want you touching their ancient Egyptian artifacts.
anything from this planet.
It looks like a stone that they carved into a pyramid. Don't get me wrong. You should be impressed by this. Like that's awesome. It's really impressive, the, like, masonry that went on in, like, ancient times with tools that are much less advanced than what we have today. The pyramids themselves are fucking beautiful, amazing things, although they're kind of, whatever. They're kind of monuments to the hubris of pharaohs, but, you know, whatever. Like, they're cool things that humans have made. Stop trying to make it about aliens. By the way, this is gonna get racist misunderstanding of history or whatever it is in the bingo card. I assume she's gonna say aliens made this. This is something that happened back in the day. Old-timey historians would do this too, where they'd look at some ancient thing like the pyramids or some amazing feat of civilization in an area that was primarily not white, or not white at all, you know? And then they'd say, well, these people clearly couldn't have made this because racism. And then they'd come up with conspiracy theories about aliens, or I just read a thing today, actually, about, in I forget where in Africa. It was somewhere, I think, in North Africa, Northwest Africa. I don't remember. But initial European explorers found these busts that were made by the locals, and they were beautiful. I saw pictures of them. They're absolutely gorgeous fucking pieces of art that depict, you know, different people or whatever. And these people just legit thought they rather than admit that this culture can produce beautiful, like, representative art, they came up with theories. I'm not making this up. That, like, they came up with theories that, like, Europeans or Vikings or something had made their way down to Africa and made these just because they were so incapable of recognizing that people with a different colored skin than them were capable of creating art. It's so fucked up. Tucker White with a link.
Touch. Don't touch.
Oh, where'd it go? Dang it. There it is. Maps and Mimics with a link.
That's just a stupid boulder.
It's not a boulder. It's a rock. Logarth says, white aliens. Mr. Sure Knight Kingyo says, I love that you talked about this. Those Ancient Aliens TV shows used to be so hurtful. Is it not still on the air? I guess I still thought they made that show.
Yes, it is a stone from space. They could not find any of the materials that made up the stone on Earth.
Okay, this is interesting, because something similar happened, and again, she might just be bullshitting. I don't know if the material thing is true about this particular piece. I kind of doubt it. But, I forget which pharaoh. One of the pharaohs had a dagger that they discovered was carved from meteor. A meteor had landed somewhere near Egypt, or it was traded for, and one of the pharaohs had a dagger made out of the meteor. Very interesting. So if this genuinely is material that's not of the planet Earth, although that'd be, you know, interesting, you'd still probably be able to figure out what it was made out of, you know, stuff from space are still the elements that exist on Earth. It would probably be a situation like that. Mr. Sir Knight Kingyo says, I love that you... Oh, I read that one. Sorry.
So that is mystery number 1. Check out mystery number 2 in this clip.
Try to cut it.
Never happened. Use a laser cut. Never happened. Okay, now I have to shut up for a minute. If we can do that today, look at the hieroglyphic that being carved on that pyramid. And number two, it is not even looking at the hieroglyphic. Somebody tried to chop those hieroglyphic, and he managed to do a little bit of it. We can do that today.
You absolutely can. If someone wanted to fuck this thing up, they could do it. They absolutely could. It's probably a very hard material, but guess what they had back in the day? A lot of time. Not to mention master masons that could figure out how to do things effectively.
They think that these things happened, like, instantaneously. Like, there were people that worked for, like generations of people did some of these things.
Yeah. Even just, like, when we're talking about, like, if we're talking about even the history of, like, Europe, there are big cathedrals and stuff that took, like, 100 years to build. And generations of workers worked on them.
Yeah.
Back in the day, people did that shit. Especially at the behest of your, like, god pharaoh that you think is connected to the gods.
That's like, it makes me so mad. Like, just because, even if we couldn't do something now that was done previous, like, fuck you, we're not better than people in the past.
Yeah, knowledge gets lost.
More innovative. It's like there's the Egyptian blue color. We still don't know how it was made, but clearly it exists. It is painted on walls of the pyramids.
I believe also Greek fire, which was a weapon that was used by the Greeks. We still don't know how to reproduce it. It was basically a thing they would use, and they'd shoot it at stuff, and it would set it on fire. It's a little bit like kind of like napalm that they would put in flamethrowers, kind of like that. Morok says some katanas are made from meteoric steel. They look cool, but they're actually weaker than other katanas, if memory serves. Cotton Candy says it was Tutankhamun. It was an iron dagger made from a meteorite. Vast Lunacy says, but Hannah the Cosmos is also racist and wouldn't let meteors land in those areas. H. Baird says iridium is an element that mainly is found in meteorites. Ah, that's, you know what? They said that in Avengers. I should have known that. Raven says, can thank the Inquisition for the vast library of knowledge in the name of the Lord. Vast library of knowledge lost in the name of the Lord. Thank you.
So, it looks like a pressing machine, burning machine, being added there.
No, you idiot! They carved it over long periods of time with special tools, with special artisans that knew how to do it.
Laser can't do it today. So what the hell they used to make it with that perfection? Look, even polished and glazed, lift rough. The eye of Horus, the lung of Osiris, Ra, duck and a circle, reeds and a honeybee, and then the names of the pharaoh and hieroglyphic. Perfection of the size. Same precision, depth, width. It is mind-blowing.
Okay, so stone is not from this planet.
But not because you think that it came from aliens.
Yeah.
We don't know how old it is. We don't know really what it's made out of. And we don't know how they...
Sorry, I'm trying to find anything about the material to see if anything she's saying is accurate in terms of it. See, this one is saying that this is lost to history, meaning it was probably a different one, but this one is saying that they thought this other one was a meteorite. Just a thought.
Carved the hieroglyph.
Bittergrin says, thank you. Bittergrin says, I looked it up. That stone is gray granite and was carved perfectly normally. Wow, that's even less impressive than I thought. That's interesting. I don't mean to say that like it's not impressive. Of course it's fucking impressive. I just mean in terms of relative to saying it's some unknown material. No. Gray granite. Well, there you go. That's the answer. It's fucking granite.
Glyphs in here.
See, that's a way to me, that's the hardest thing to debunk, even though it's easy. When they just lie, when they just outright say a thing that is absolutely not true, because when someone makes a fallacious argument, that's easy to point out. But when someone just lies to your face about something... Anyway.
We can't even do this today with our modern technology.
Yeah, that's not fucking true. That is absolutely not fucking true. I hate when people say that.
We can't even...
We do... And again, I'm not trying to shit on this. Like, in terms of antiquity, like, this is a beautiful piece of human history. Excellent. The craftsmanship is fucking astounding. However, we've made vast technological advances since then, and I don't know how to break it to you, but like... For instance, the tallest building in the world. More difficult than that. Just saying, you know? Come on, people. We can carve a fucking rock, okay?
Etch in there. We can't even take the hieroglyphs off.
Why would you want to? If we wanted to, yes, we could, but we have no reason to do so because it would be defacing a piece of history.
So, I'll just leave you with...
that we could just obliterate that stone?
Yeah.
With that, okay? You can come to your own conclusions. But there was technology used here, okay?
I mean, technically, yes, but not the way you mean. Like, inventing methods and tools for doing this is still technology, but it's not alien technology, it's not sci-fi technology, it's not modern technology.
Whether it was ours or someone else's, don't know, but this needs some...
What a stupid asshole. Tucker White says, I know it's annoying to refute people who outright lie. On another note, did y'all know Hannah once blew up a planet in the Andromeda Galaxy? I mean, that one's true. In fairness, they deserved it, okay? They said there was going to be a continental breakfast, and I came out, and it was just fruit. That's not a continental breakfast. I expect at least toast or bacon. Fruit is not a complete breakfast. Watch cereal commercials.
They probably had muffins. You probably just woke up too late to get them.
Yeah, that's probably true. I didn't ask. I just went straight from getting up and seeing the fruit to destroying their planet, so... In fairness, I was very hungry, so I was cranky. Andrew Batella, sorry I missed your bits, says, I'm not saying TikTok was bullshit, but it was bullshit. LJ Vaughn says, I worked with a graphic designer who started his career doing magazine layouts before computers. Those methods would be borderline witchcraft to most people doing the same job today. That's how drastically methods can change in a short period of time. Yeah. A lot of craft and stuff has been lost to time. Just because the traditional way of learning things and how to do certain things was brought down, you know, from apprenticeships and people learning on the job from masters. And if you no longer need to learn that skill anymore because it's not in use or that job isn't something you need to do anymore, the craft just sort of gets lost. Especially back in history before everyone was literate and could easily write down things. Logarth says, you can destroy my planet anytime, ooh woo. Is it Uranus? Low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit.
I mean, yours isn't.
That's better.
What's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000% believe in?
Dragons! Dragons! Dragons were...
Oh boy. Raven says you get angry when you're hungry, Hannah. Yeah. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, show of hands here. Who can use an abacus? Yes? Abacuses are really easy to use. Does anyone not know how to use an abacus? Abacuses are literally children's toys now.
For real, fight me.
I understand your concern.
Nick says, does he believe in bad dragons?
Your dad yells about a bunch of random shit. Today it's dragons. You're gonna have to get used to that.
In ancient history across the globe, dragons are mentioned. In China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, the Mongolian Empire,
A lot of legends of dragons were fueled by people finding fossils.
Babylonian Empire, the Greek myths did it. Northern Europe, like Scandinavian, like Viking areas. Across the nation, Northern Canada and Native American scripts, they've mentioned dragons. Down in frickin' the Aztecs and Mayans, they mention dragons.
Hold on the story, the knight in shining armor slayed the dragon.
Knights? Knights were a thing 400 or 500 years ago? That's it. You think all these guys had group chats across the globe talking about cool mystical creatures? No!
Convergent thought is a thing, or parallel thought is a thing. Humans are incredibly similar. Like, I know we make all these divisions, you know, amongst ourselves, but at the end of the day, we're all kind of using the same hardware to do our thinking, you know? So, humans in different parts of the globe are going to come up with similar ideas sometimes. Dragons are just one of those things that humans come up with. And to be clear, dragons from, like, medieval Europe and dragons from, like, Japanese or Chinese folklore, very different. The only similarities are basically that they're giant reptiles or serpents. Other than that, they're quite different. It would be like saying, like there are myths all throughout history in different cultures from different parts of the world of what we would consider today wizards or witches or something like that. People who can do magic, for good or for ill. That doesn't mean magic's real. It just means humans have similar thoughts and concerns, and those reveal themselves through our folklore.
Wait,
excuse me.
Magic isn't real?
Unfortunately.
But Harry Potter.
I know. Well, in fairness, that exists, but that's only because Satan influences the Harry Potter books and gives me power. But that's a different story. Chrysia says the destruction of dragons varies wildly from continent, or rather, the description of dragons varies wildly from continent to continent. Stolen Corbell says also dragon myths are wildly different between cultures. Nick says lots of divisions among us. Sus. Raven says they're called red dragons. Bad dragons are called red dragons. Get it right. Tucker White says some dragons grant wishes. Some do that. Two, but more. Some blow up a planet after a wish, and some are the size of entire galaxies. Cotton Candy says, in anthropology, dragons are incredibly diverse mythical creatures that often have very little in common. D-Zug says, Mention Dragons is one of my favorite alternative bands. Closed on Tuesday says, we're all just ugly bags of mostly water. Maps and Mimic says, man, I wish dragons were real. That'd be rad as hell. How to Train Your Dragon is one of my favorite movie series.
Dragons used to run shit. And we've never found a full dinosaur. We found, like, enough, kind of reconstructed it, like, oh, I think this is what it looks like. So you can't tell.
That frustrates me when people talk about paleontology like that, as if paleontologists are just digging up fossils and going, I don't know, as if it's not, like, a legitimate field of study with decades upon decades of, like, how do we actually look at fossils and determine what goes with what? And they're just like, oh, that's just guesswork. Fuck you. Being a paleontologist is probably really fucking hard. You asshole. Put a shirt on.
Tell me a T-Rex head is not a dragon's head.
That's true. We have found, I believe, it might be the Chicago Fields Museum has a full T-Rex fossil skeleton set. So yes, there have been some full ones found. Let's do one more short one and then we'll move on to something else. One of the most popular videos on this channel. Andrew Patella says the diversity in the concept of dragon across cultures, much like the diversity in the concept of God, sounds more like a translation error mixed with colonialism than any kind of unified concept. We're caught up. Toy Story 4 conspiracy. I've still not seen Toy Story 4. No. Have you? Yeah. I haven't. I don't know. It just felt like they said everything they needed to say in Toy Story 3, I guess. I didn't feel the need to see 4. Also, I'm almost 30, so... What?
I said it was cute.
Yeah.
You're almost 30.
I'm almost 30. I'm 27.
Yeah.
It's almost 30.
It's not like you're 29.
I will be soon.
In 2 years.
Yeah. Those are the swim goggles from Finding Nemo, and that is the box of animal crackers that was used for the circus wagon in A Bug's Life. Yeah, this isn't really a conspiracy theory as much as it is just a movie detail. Pixar puts references to their other movies in their films. The Pizza Planet truck shows up in Finding Nemo. I think it shows up in Monsters, Inc. Yeah, they put references to their other movies in all their movies. Did they ever do... I've only seen the first Cars movie, and I've only seen it, like, once. I don't really like Cars. It's my least favorite Pixar movie. Did they ever do a Pizza Planet truck in Cars that's, like, a living car?
I don't know.
Someone let me know. In Cars 2 they did? Okay. Cool. Marcus Drake says, I have a friend who's an archaeologist. She has a master's and recently got a raise all the way to 27,000 pounds. These people just do it out of passion. Archaeologists are different than paleontologists. But yes, similar in terms of being underpaid, I would imagine. I really wonder, as a society, as a global civilization, how much could we progress in, like, 200 years if we stopped spending so much money on dumb shit, like war, and, like, I don't know, paying Jeff Bezos a bunch of money, and we put that towards, like, actual study of things that could enrich our understanding of our own lives, both through science and, like, the social sciences.
And art.
Art, of course. Just like, I don't know, let's just take like 100 years, and just as a change of pace, stop being big sacks of shit, and just try and, like, fund things that would be nice. That'd be a fun change of pace for humans. Tea with Goblin says, here's a really cool thing on the subject of convergent thinking. There's an Aboriginal song line about 7 sisters, which maps the land, but also the constellations that we call the Pleiades. The story of the 7 sisters is almost identical to the Greek myth that the constellation is named for, and there are also some very similar Native American and Eastern Europe stories that are extremely similar. Anthropology is amazing. Cool. Mike Max says, no, it ended with 2. I still like 3. I don't know. The whole story of Andy growing up, I think it worked for me because I was when Toy Story 3 came out, I was the exact same age as Andy from Toy Story, and I was about to, like, leave high school and go to college, so that hit just right. Andrew Rotella says, Monsters, Inc. had predictive programming for Finding Nemo. Colston says, all I know is that Monsters, Inc. takes place in the future, and Boo is the creepy old lady in Brave. I've not seen Brave. Raven says, Comrade Hannah. We're caught up. Let's see what Chris CC is up to. He's on the beach today.
Oh.
Alright. I have been trying to get this pretty much all of my life. It's just about to disappear. Go away from us. On the beach here at Jones. Where the hell are you?
Maybe Peter today. I don't know if I'm gonna cover him, but he did have a new video.
I can't. Alright, I'm getting a point of reference. It's right above that tree right there.
He's trying to look at the moon.
Come on, where the fuck is it? I have been trying to record this. You gotta understand my frustration here.
Just zoom in on the moon, Chris! How hard is this?
There it is.
That XY girl says, "Where's the moon?"
Can you please get that kite away from the camera? I'm recording.
He's an old man yelling at kids on the beach flying a kite because he's trying to prove the moon is fake. Good shit.
Something that I've been dying to see. There she is, going away from us on the beach.
Old man yells at kite.
And I lost it. It's disappearing. Look at it. It's just going away. Honey, look at it. You gotta understand what this thing is. This is not 268,000 miles away. Where are you?
Right there, I can see it.
I mean, looking at an LCD screen on the beach is just like pretty much impossible. With something that's almost invisible at this point. I don't know. If it was on live footage right now, I would be getting so many bad remarks. But I'm not.
Nichols says, "CC, the moon being
I'm
fake
recording
is a dumb throwaway joke from Night Vale. Get a grip."
This is why I bought this camera. To experiment with what they've told us are complete fucking lies. Bullshit. Nonsense. I can't see it anymore. Oh, there it is. I mean, this just looks so fucking weird right now.
Not holographic sky on bingo, because he doesn't think it's holographic. He thinks the moon is a ball of plasma.
This is on,
Yeah, I think he says it here in a second. Hydrate.
P1000. I have it on the moon setting. Okay? It's a...
I assume the moon setting is for nighttime, you idiot. Doesn't understand how cameras work. He thinks that the moon setting on his camera is literally for if you're looking at the moon regardless of the light conditions. Oh my god. Chris, that's for low light conditions, for like if you're outside in the moonlight. It doesn't literally mean for looking at the moon, you stupid, stupid, stupid flat earther.
It's almost like the moon might symbolize nighttime.
Right? Jamie Lynn says, CC's okay, but Peter's better. Step up your game, CC. Joey is Strong says, is Flash for lightning?
Approximately, I don't know, around 9 o'clock right now. Damn it. In the morning, I believe, and just watch it disappear.
Andrew Patel says, I set this expensive camera on moon setting and the moon isn't showing up. Checkmate, Globers.
Observe it. I can't wait to see what this is going to look like.
It's not disappearing, Chris. You just have your camera set to the wrong setting for this because you think moon means moon instead of moon meaning nighttime. He still uploaded this too. Does he not understand that it doesn't look like it's disappearing? It just looks like he doesn't know where it is because he can't see it with his naked eye and he can't see it on the LCD screen. The moon isn't disappearing. You're just bad at using your camera.
I'm going to run it as long as I can.
He thinks he's owning the globe heads with this. Yep.
Alright, my daughter wants me to play with her, but look, it's almost gone.
Oh no!
His daughter that had the kite.
How young is Cece's daughter? Oh no. I guess I assumed he looked old enough that I thought his kids were like adults. Does Cece have, like, a child? Oh, God.
Hi. And it's disappearing, so it doesn't ever... This is the one thing that I've always been curious about the moon. Because I've never seen it actually pop out. You know, it just fucking appears out of nowhere. Did I lose the freaking moon? I lost the moon. We lost the moon here on Apollo 11. We lost the moon. We've got to go back. Tom Hanks, you unfortunately are like a moron. Alright, I lost the moon. Anyway, you see what I'm talking about here? Let me get it back. The battleship is right there. It's got a bunch of other ships on it too. Alright, well, thank you for subbing and thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
Sorry, Styx responded to me.
Oh, fun. Did he say anything coherent?
No. The Nice White Girl says, listen, one time I was watching this comet and it was really hard to see even with binoculars, but I didn't say I was owning the globe heads or neglecting playing with a child. K.R. Goss says they're elementary age kids, 2 or 3, but my aunt couldn't remember. Alpaca Scent says, if CC focused his camera on that moving ship, he could prove the Earth is a ball. He does in other videos.
All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's September 25th, 2021. I got some good footage of that barge over there with the P-1000, and I got another footage right over here of that. I'm in the midst of, downloading these videos. And it's probably going to take me about 3 hours. I'm just looking at all the chemtrails that are in the sky
They're clouds!
Right by the beach. You know what it is? This is what it is with...
He believes in clouds, but he doesn't understand that there are different kinds of clouds. So if there's anything other than the stereotypical cartoon puffy fluffy clouds, he thinks they're chemtrails. Yeah, he's an idiot. He did a whole video where he's just looking at clouds and he's like, these don't look like clouds from when I was a kid. Like, yes. Unironically, it's the old man yells at clouds memes, as Morak points out in Baja. Like, again, I don't know when Chris went to school. When I was in elementary school, we learned about different kinds of clouds in our physical sciences class, or in whatever the class was called. Tea with Goblin says, okay, but the beach is beautiful. I haven't been able to go more than 5 kilometers outside my home for months now. I'd give my left tit to be able to go hang out there. Don't take it for granted, CC, you absolute boofhead. Red Werewolf says, do you think he believes in sunscreen and the need for it? Maybe. He thinks the sun is even closer than it is in reality. So maybe he thinks you need even more suntan lotion. I don't know.
With Flat Earth. Oh, what happened to this suit? You alright? You look a little disgruntled. He's a big one. Look at the size of this guy. Damn. You know what it is? You know when you were like 15 years old, and you think you know everything. You've been through school. You've been through all the nonsense.
You never got out of that.
Well, you're only in 9th grade or 8th grade, but I mean, you think you know everything. And then you get older, and then you think you know even...
What does he think the sun is? That's a good question. I think he's covered this, but I don't remember what he specifically said. He does think it's a big ball of light. I don't know if he thinks it's... I don't know if he's, like, still thinks it's, like, a ball of, like, nuclear fusion, or if, like... I honestly couldn't tell you. But he thinks it's much closer and much smaller than it is in actuality. Nick says, you're like 50 and you somehow think you know everything, CC.
Even more. Well, you don't know shit. You know nothing. Until you figure out that there is absolutely no fucking curvature right here. At all. None. No curvature at all.
Chris, you and I at ground level are too close to the ground to see curvature. The Earth is huge. You cannot see curvature at ground level.
Whatsoever. I was thinking about contacting somebody from Spain. You know how they do the, the mirror? The only thing that can break through all of the haze and all of the clouds is this natural object that we have up here, okay? Which is not 93 million miles away.
Cotton Candy says, CC is proof that age doesn't equal wisdom.
I'm sorry. And if we get a reflective surface all the way from Spain to America, that'll be the tiebreaker right there.
Yes, but you won't be able to because of the curvature of the Earth. Carney1 says, just showed up in their CC. This is going to be interesting or dumb. I don't know.
I'll work on it. See what I can do. Well, meanwhile, oh, by the way, you see those birds right up there? Those are the piping things. I don't know what the hell they're called. But they were endangered species at one point. And now they're flocking like you wouldn't believe. Look at them all. Looks like there's a couple hundred of them over there. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, birds. It doesn't make a difference. Look, the Earth is flat. You can see if it wasn't for the air density, and that's right.
And Colston says we need to get CC into space stat. No kidding. Someone called Jeff Bezos. Someone throw CC this. Yeah, the basketball thing. The basketball thing is interesting. If you zoom in on any sphere close enough, it looks flat. Because that's what spheres look like when you're very close to the surface and zoomed in. And that camera lens is much higher up from the surface of the basketball than we are from the surface of the Earth. Sky Comet Fallen says, see, there's a very cool contraption. It's called a telescope. Use one.
There's water in our air. That's what we can't see.
I mean, yes, there's water in the air.
China, that's what we can't see. Spain, that's what we can't see.
Why would you think the mirror thing would work then?
See as far as we should be able to.
Nick says, looks like lava levels from Donkey Kong Country, too. Zealous55 says, imagine growing up with the mystery of your white-headed father yelling at kites and birds. He's always mad. At what? Something about the Earth. Something you just don't care about. You want to build a sandcastle, but Dad just wants to scream about how you could shine mirrors from Spain. Carnia1 says, do you think in, like, Star Trek universe there are still flat earthers that work on a spaceship? You know, even just, like, 4 years ago, I would have been like, no, that's stupid. But I've learned that there is no end to human stupidity. So I couldn't tell you.
To see, you know? The Earth is so flat, motionless, stationary, covered with a globe, and space is bullshit.
Moppy Mutton says, hi Hannah, it's been a while, looking lovely and love your streams, thank you.
Explain to me why one fucking rocket, every single rocket goes and turns.
Because that's the quickest way to get to space. CC, how do I explain this? It takes more fuel to go straight up, directly away from the Earth, than it does to go up and then arc and leave the atmosphere at an angle. Like, that's very basic, like, I don't even know what to call it. Not rocket science? No, that's, I guess, rocket science. I don't know. That's basic shit that you should be able to understand about physics.
Every single one of them. Why?
Sky Comet
because they're trying to get the revolution of the Earth and the spin, and that's how they launch off the space. Bullshit! Every amateur rocket that you have ever had goes straight up.
CC, has any amateur rocket you've ever built gone to fucking space? If you build a rocket for, like for instance, in high school physics, we had to build rockets, right? We had to build rockets made out of 2-liter soda bottles. I called mine the USS more powerful than Batman, Superman, and Aquaman combined.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. I have the wing. You know that box I have that has a bunch of, like, mementos and stuff?
Yeah.
I still have the wing of the SS more powerful than Superman, Batman, and Aquaman combined. And it has all of their symbols combined on the wing. Anyway, it sucked. I did a really bad job. But, yeah, when you're doing that, you're not trying to get to space, Chris. So you don't have to actually, like, do the curve thing. Daddy Sume says, hey all, just wanted to update everyone. My situation has much improved. My roomie and I talked, and we have smoothed things out significantly. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Tea with goblins with some bits. Thank you. Moss Mike had a great fall. I don't know what that means. Hydrate. Chris Broken says, I wonder what flat earthers think of Kerbal Space Program. They probably think it's propaganda. Fun game. I like Kerbal. I'm excited for the sequel. I missed Andros bits. Sorry. Andrew Patella says, scientists say the universe extends beyond our galaxy, but they can't prove that those spiral nebula are actually Milky Ways of their own. It's obvious that they're just weird stars at the boundaries of our galaxy. The Milky Way is flat, sheeple. I mean, the Milky Way is kind of flat, depending on what you mean. It's a disk. It's just a very thick disk relative to... It depends on what you mean. I know you're joking either way. Mike Mack said, Mad Mike, flat earther that built the rocket and died. Oh, I did know about that, yes.
Don't you see? Don't you see everything is a fucking lie? All the media, all the...
If I remember correctly, he yells at this lady and says, like, did you know the earth is round? Sarcastically.
Bullshit. All of this. They've been lying to you for as long as you've been living. Putting a globe inside of the...
I missed H. Baird's bits. H. Baird says, that's it. Let's get a bunch of matches and aluminum foil and launch our own satellite. Moppy Mutton says, how miserable is someone to be this pissed at the beach on a day like this? I don't know.
The classroom.
He just hates everything.
When you were a child. To make you think we...
Juliopa. I know Call wrote a message about Cirrus. I didn't know he wrote one about me.
We live on this...
Not surprised.
Imaginary space, this imaginary world. This Walt Disney World. You know, they had to fake the moon landing, and they'll never be able to fake it again, because now we all know. When's the next mission out to Mars? I don't know. It's supposed to be 2020, wasn't it? Oh, no, you know what? No, let's go for 2024. Oh, wait a minute. That's in like 3 years. Nah, I don't know. You're jumping the gun on that one. You know, let's go for 2030. They just keep kicking it down the can, down the road. Look at this. This is actually really cool. Look at them all. These were an endangered species at one point. Long Island had a big problem with these guys. They are cute, aren't they? Look at them. They don't seem to mind the seagulls at all. Anyway, you know what I'm getting at. I love the beach. I really do. It's the only place that you could actually find the truth. And if I bring up flat earth with anybody over here, see, people don't even know what the hell they're looking at when they're at the beach. You know, they're looking at a flat land with no curvature at all. But we were told we live on a planet. Isn't it amazing? We live on a planet.
He thinks we don't live on a planet.
I know. We're revolving in space.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Einstein's the culprit. He's the one who managed to basically unfold the reason why, oh god damn shit. I mean, there's so much I can't talk about right now, okay? But I've been doing research and Einstein's the culprit. Good old Einstein.
Yes, progenitor of the heliocentric model. Einstein. I don't know if Chris knows anything about the history of
all the way back when.
Astronomy or physics.
Anyway, what I was getting at is when you're like 15 years old, you know everything, you know, and you continue your life thinking you know everything, and then all of a sudden things crash down when you figure out flat Earth. It crashes down. You're like, oh man, fuck! Oh, there they go. It's really cool. I've never seen so many of these guys. just crashes down in front of you. And then you make a breakthrough where you understand that everything is a fucking lie.
Morak says, would that be blatant anti-Semitism? Einstein was Jewish part. Probably, but we already had that anyway. But you can mark it because we had it.
All the politicians, all Hollywood, all the games. Anyway, I'm going to download those videos, and I hope you look at them, enjoy them. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. I want to be a part of your life.
Now what? This is a VHS from, oh gosh, what year was this? This doesn't say. But this is like a VHS from the late 80s or 90s about Satanism. Not real Satanism, but like, you know, satanic panic Satanism. Andrew Patella says, but the movement of Mercury in the sky used to be perfectly explained by Ptolemy's epicycles, but then the Rockefellers changed the movement so it could do predictive programming on Einstein's general relativity.
Hitting motion. Is now available on video cassette. Devil worship, the rise of Satanism, brings to light one of the most dangerous trends currently exploding throughout the world. AIDS, What You Haven't Been Told, a shocking investigation into the myths, cover-ups, and political manipulations concerning our planet's deadliest virus.
Oh no!
The Evolution Conspiracy, a breathtaking documentary featuring leading scientists from around the world attempting to unravel the mysteries of evolution and, in the process, uncovering what may be the most incredible hoax of the century. Gods of the New Age, a fascinating and disturbing motion picture which traces the history and occult origins of today's New Age philosophy, from its beginnings in mystic India to its mass infiltration into Western...
Oh, she's got one of the pyramids!
...culture. Fear is the Master takes you inside one of the world's most dangerous...
We gotta watch all of these. This channel has a lot of them. This channel collects old, bad VHS stuff, so... As long as this channel's up, yeah, we'll check out some of these. Carney says, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Purple Nickel says, that aged well.
Cults, and reveals firsthand how recruits are brainwashed into submitting to a maniacal leader. The Godmakers, a gripping investigation of the Mormon Empire, which exposes the deception of its massive political and financial network. Temple of the Godmakers continues the investigation of the Mormon Church and brings you inside the Mormon Temple as you witness secret occult rituals recorded for the first time ever on film. False Gods of Our Time, a 4-part series filmed on 4 continents, which accurately provides insights into the confusing and contradictory religions of the world. Operation Tentmaker boldly tells how ordinary men and women have become missionaries within countries that forbid the sharing of the Christian gospel. The Witness at Your Door, a behind-the-scenes examination of the beliefs and motivations of those uninvited door-to-door visitors, the Jehovah's Witnesses. The Mormon Dilemma dramatically presents an accurate comparison between the Mormon belief system and biblical Christianity. A Song for Grandma, a moving documentary designed to motivate volunteers to visit the elderly lying alone and forgotten in our nursing homes. These are available to you from your local video retailer.
That one's just sad. Yeah. Oh, Amori Miko says, I was not expecting Mormon exposés. Nick says, it's like they're throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and some of this shit is actually sticking. Morak says, some of these occult rituals look a lot like churches I've been to.
You can call 1-800-828-2290. That's 1-800-828-2290. California residents call.
Do you guys think that goes to like what do you guys think that goes to now?
1-800-633-0869. Call today.
Oh, Hype Train. Sweet. I missed your bits? God damn. Sorry. Old school creationism is how I missed the 57% to level 1. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. Jamie Lynn, thank you for gifting a sub. Maps and Mimics, thanks for gifting a sub. Choking Ouroboros, which is a great name, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. MW1642, thank you for 300 bits. There's no closed captions on this, by the way, I'm sorry.
Teenagers across America are playing with a new and frightening game, Satanism.
What?
Their school books are marked up with satanic symbols, upside.
The upside down cross is not a satanic symbol, it's a Christian symbol. Oh my god. Slow Dog, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Jody, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs. Wow, it's a fucking sub fest in the chat. Raven says, you can look up people actually filming Mormon rituals and it's exactly like what he shows. The comments are great too. The Mormons pee their magic undies so hard about it. Muffin the Magnificent, thanks for subscribing. Zorgnax with 100 bits says, give some bits to give myself an excuse to say, Cornsaculus. Nick thank you for gifting a sub. Caught up. Yeah, St. Peter's Cross. Yeah, it's because he was crucified upside down, so it's a Christian symbol.
Upside down crosses, pentagrams, the number 666. Their fashions glamorize the demonic. They are.
If your kids are doing like what they perceive to be satanic symbols in their notebooks or whatever, it's because they're rebelling against you. It's probably because you profess Christian beliefs and they're doing the teenage thing of rebelling and trying to be edgy. Stone Corbell says, late night hype bits. Go, 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 level 5. We're close. Joey is strong. Thanks for gifting a sub. Jamie Lynn says, who comes with a dawn, the morning star with 30 bits? Raven says, Scam Train.
Seduced by heavy metal heroes, many of whom feature satanic imagery in their songs and album covers.
It's because it's edgy because you made it edgy. Cool Cat says, rebelling just like Satan. It's all connected. Zorgnax, thanks for gifting a sub. Daddy Sume says, hello, Hannah. Just want to say I love you content and ooh keep me sane. I'm heading to woo bed. Keep being awesome. Ooh. Have a good night. Maps and Mimics, thanks for gifting a sub.
For some of these young people, the fixation on
It's funny to think that these two dudes are probably like middle-aged dads now. Maybe even older than middle-aged. This was shot in the 80s. Maybe grandparents? I don't know. Jamie Lynn says, he who comes with the dawn, the morning star. That's what I meant to say. There we go.
Violence, evil, and death leads them to commit abominable crimes.
How dare they say religion is evil? They must be Satanists. They can't have legitimate criticisms about our religion. Morak says, obligatory reminder that real Satanism is more about self-actualization and fulfillment than anything else. Also, teenagers will write any edgy shit in their notebooks. I learned how to write in Tolkien's Dwarvish and the Star Wars script in high school and filled my notebooks with poetry using these symbols. Probs look satanic to the uninformed. Maps and Mimic says, damn, only 10k channel points till I can time out Daddy for that shit. He's already gone for the night now, so that'd probably be a waste. At least now.
Including suicide and human sacrifice. Joseph Beeson, 18, and Edward Bennett, 19, both raised in Mormon homes, drew blood from their own veins and mutilated animals in satanic rituals. But that wasn't enough, so they eventually killed 18-year-old Michelle Moore. Sean Sellers, 17.
So they're not satanic, they were Mormon. Mormonism isn't Satanism.
The youngest...
It's closest related to Christianity, and I'd argue it's just a sect of Christianity, but some Christians don't like that. Raven says, human sacrifice, let's go!
Death row inmate in Oklahoma.
Consider Mormons Christians?
Yes, Christians.
That's weird.
Yep. I don't think they like it associated with them because they think it's weird, even though it's not really that much weirder than Christianity in general. At least the hardcore versions of Christianity. Sky Comet Fallen says, I was a, quote, witch in high school. I did magic and put curses on people because I thought it was cool.
Brutally
Is this Satanic Panic from the 80s? Yeah.
murdered his mother and stepfather because they tried to prevent his satanic rituals. Scott Waterhouse, 17, tortured and killed a 12-year-old girl in a grisly satanic slaughter.
None of this has to do with Satanism. These people are just fucking psychos or assholes. Like, what?
They are criminals.
Yeah.
Pete Rowland, 17, formed a satanic cult with 3 other boys. After sacrificing a cat...
Is it really a cult if there's only 3 other people in it? That just sounds like a gang or like a group of friends who are assholes. Puka says, you know who with the timeout. I'm gonna decline it just because Daddy Sume already said he was going to bed, so you should save those points for another time. Because he's already not here. Or at the very least, he's getting ready for bed and listening to this in the background. So save your points!
They turned on Steve Newberry, the 4th member of their group, and...
Raven says, the Mormons don't believe in the Holy Trinity, at least not in the same way they do. That's why other Christians hate them. I imagine there's other reasons, too. I imagine many Christians probably find it blasphemous that they wrote a whole new part of the Bible, the Book of Mormon. Zorgnak says, how long does the timeout of someone else last? 10 minutes.
beat him to death with baseball bats while chanting, "A sacrifice for Satan." Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, was convicted of 13 murders and 30 other felonies. During the summer of 1985, he beat, strangled, raped, sodomized, shot, and slashed his victims in a rampage of sadistic satanic slayings. In the spring of '89, the dead
Are they just
bodies
gonna point to tons of different murders and claim they're satanic for no reason? Carney says it's not Satanism, it's video games. Pokemon mess you up something fierce. Ready for Perfect says, how many people would you say it takes to make a cult? I don't know. That's a good question.
I would say...
A leader plus 5. You say 15? See, I'm lowballing it. I'm saying 5. I think you can start a cult with 5 followers, and then it'll grow. 12. If you have 12 disciples, then it is a cult. H. Barrett says, Joseph Smith didn't write a new Bible. He read it off the gold plates he kept in the hat. Get it right. Obviously.
13 victims, one of whom...
How much heavy petting qualifies a cult? Slow Dog says, I think so long as you have to take 2 cars, it's a cult.
was only 16 years old, were found mutilated.
That's not a bad metric. The two car cult principle. Yeah. If you need either 2 cars or to buy some sort of like van for your group, it's a cult. Amori Miku says, I think 1 person can be a cult. That doesn't make sense. Vast Lunacy says, there are so many Richard Ramirez thirst accounts on Tumblr. Ew.
Mutilated and buried in a common grave near the American-Mexican
Is that what a car-go cult is referring to? That's not bad.
border in Matamoros. This satanic drug-smuggling cult believed that sacrificing humans in bizarre rituals would give them magical protection. The victims had been dealt blows with a hammer, and some suffered horrible mutilations, including the removal of brains, hearts, and other organs that were then boiled in blood. For those of us who have been involved in cult and occult research over the years, these atrocious reports are unfortunately nothing new. They are only the tip of the iceberg.
I gotta look this lady up. Carol Matricinana. Is she still doing stuff? Looks like it. Looks like she maybe died? Is there just a Wikipedia? That would be helpful. Unless this is a different person with the same name. When was this? Carol was a woman of great talent. Not only was she blah, blah, blah. Avid tennis player. Oh, breast cancer. That's sad. I'm just trying to see if this is the same woman. Can't tell if it is or not. Well, she's dead now.
Nothing new.
Stephen J. Neptune Man says, sometimes I'll laugh at the satanic panic of the 80s, but then I get sad when I realize that QAnon with its paranoia over Hollywood is just a continuation of it. Plus, there's stuff like the outrage over Lil Nas X. Yeah.
They are only the tip of the iceberg.
Expert has ridiculous title? Yes. Closed on Tuesday with 30 bits says, if you only need at least 1 leader and 4 followers, does that make us a cult? Are we the cult of our reloaded Lord Hannah? Yes.
Because Satanism is by nature clandestine, it's hard to estimate the numbers of people involved. Not all satanic groups are involved in criminal behavior, but with increasing frequency, law enforcement agencies across North America and Western Europe are receiving similar reports of illegal activity. Satanically inspired child pornography and ritual abuse, animal mutilations, human sacrificial murder, cannibalism, rape, sodomy, desecration of graves and Christian churches.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong.
Victims are from all walks of life. Their stories are grotesque and beyond human belief. The purpose of this video is not to over-sensationalize a hideous subject, but rather to inform you of a very real problem that
Purple Nickel with 100 bits says, oh, now we're a cult, huh?
is sweeping across our nation. What used to be hidden or secret is now arrogantly brandished in public by Satanists who recruit openly and display macabre graffiti and gruesome mutilations in public places. Universal power which can be tapped into
She's just like the Statue of Liberty.
At will and manipulate.
Witchcraft.
So they're just showing people doing some sort of like Wiccan ritual and saying it's satanic. Wiccan isn't the same thing as Satanism.
Allows you or teaches you to depend on
countrymen to the
my head.
Alright, I'm done with this for now. We'll watch more from that channel later, but ugh. Well, Peter's got 2 videos about the Space Force. Let's see what he thinks. Oh, that lighting is scary. Ooh.
Welcome back, Patriots. I have...
See you later, music lover.
Very exciting for you. It's Peter Hanna here, and it looks like Trump does indeed control the Space Force. And this is not based on someone who said something on the internet. This is based on really basic logic. This is based on evidence that's coming out here. I'm going to show you the evidence in 1 second, but basically what's happening is the left is trying to cut off the Space Force as a branch of the military. And considering that the deep state is very power hungry and they want...
Peter, I don't know anything about that, but if it's the case, it's probably people who want to get rid of it because they think it's dumb. Personally, I'm fine with it. Basically, it's just a branch of the military now that keeps, they basically maintain and operate, the United States military array of satellites and logistics involving satellites and intelligence involving satellites. That's it. I don't have an issue with that. It was already sorry, I'm trying to get it in focus. It was already a part of the Air Force. They basically just took that part and split it off. I don't have an issue with it. I don't care. But if anyone is trying to get rid of it, it's probably just because it's kind of silly, just the way they present themselves. Raven says, the left. Jamie Lynn says, Peter and logic in the same sentence hurts my brain.
All the military.
Can this be the uniform of the Hannah Relodians cult? Yes. Oh, where did he go? There he is.
They want all this power. It doesn't make sense that they would try to completely get rid of this Space Force.
They would just bring it back into the Air Force if they did that. It would just be the same thing. They just wouldn't get, like, a chief of staff on the, like, joint chiefs of staff. And it would just be, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to think. Absorbed back into the Air Force. Sky Comet Fallen says, I used to feel bad for Peter. Recently, though, he's starting to annoy me. Same. Again, I don't know anything about military, you know, logistics of holding on to or taking care of satellites, but, like, I don't necessarily see a reason it shouldn't be, a thing, but I don't know. My opinion on this is useless.
Until realize
the Space Force has half the people of a typical U.S. Air Force wing level organization. It's a money sink. I guess in the sense that they have to, like, have their own logos and uniforms and stuff. But again, I could see, like, the logistics of technology and satellites within the military continuing to grow. I don't know. I don't have enough information or personal knowledge to have any opinion on this. Like, just straight up. I'm being honest with you on that. I don't know, nor do I really care. Puka with 200 bits. Thank you.
Realize that Trump might control the Space Force, and if that's not enough evidence...
Peter, Trump does not control the Space Force. He doesn't control anything. Even if he did, which he doesn't, there's like under 5,000 people in the Space Force. I think there's almost 500,000 in the Air Force. Like, really?
There's communications that are being moved to the Space Force in October, next month. So let me show you all that exciting stuff, and then we'll talk about it. So here is the bill. Hope you can see that. It says...
Jamie Lynn says, if I'm in your cult and I want to be, I'll do anything you want that doesn't cost much money. Moppy Mutton says, Trump barely controls his bowels. Speedy Yoshi says, I've assumed you've already seen this, but... New York Governor Kathy Hochul says she will deploy medically trained National Guard troops to replace unvaccinated healthcare workers in hospitals who will be fired tonight. I did see that. Good shit.
Huffman introduces bill to abolish wasteful Space Force, and it says, oh, it threatens peace and etc., etc. Sorry about the noises. Also, this is what is being moved to the Space Force. Department of Defense official tweet, at the beginning of October, some of the satellite communication responsibilities of the U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy will officially transfer to the hands of Space Force Department.
Correct, because that's like what their division is supposed to do, is take care of all that stuff.
Department of Defense. Wow, guys. So, for months I speculated, but I didn't have any concrete proof until now.
You still don't, Peter.
That if Trump is to win a war against the deep state, he has to either control all of the military legally or at least some of the military. And if
Why? Why do you think that, Peter?
he only controls a little of the military, the most powerful branch is the Space Force. So
it's... How do you consistently say the opposite of the truth so often and be proven wrong and still not understand? Peter, the Space Force has, like, no military power. What I mean by that is they certainly have control over, like, intelligence satellites and stuff, or are going to get more in the future. But they don't have weapons. They're a division full of... And I use this... I'm not using this as a derogatory, but it's a division full of tech nerds who maintain satellites. What are you doing? Nick says, that wow sounded so high.
So, I didn't have any real concrete evidence to back it up until yesterday. So that's why I didn't talk about it much. It was like theorized and people were saying it, but who knows? Now we have concrete evidence because we have, as it says over here, communications from the U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy are going to be moved to the Space Force next month, October.
Correct. That was always the plan, Peter. The entire... I'm just repeating myself. Peter, the Space Force's main job at the time being is to maintain communications and intelligence satellites for the rest of the military. That's their job. This was planned. Now that they've set it up, now they're going to start transferring those responsibilities to them officially. This is not new information.
The beginning of the month. This is days away. This is definitely a Trump move. So think about it. If you're playing, you know, devil's advocate and you're trying to prove me wrong, why is it days before communications and satellites are being moved to the Space Force, why is it days before that someone introduces a bill to abolish the Space Force?
Correlation doesn't equal causation. No, not well, yeah. Correlation doesn't equal causation on the bingo card, for one thing. Raven says, blah, 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 late-stage capitalism. Peter, A, coincidence. B, people introduce bills for shit all the time. I don't think this one's gonna go anywhere, nor do I care one way or another. But why is it introduced now? I don't know. Some senator, congressperson, whoever wants to do that. That's why. They're unrelated.
Why would Biden be like, all right, let's make sure Space Force has a ton of power and then let's abolish it?
Does he think Biden controls Congress? Peter, you stupid motherfucker. Congress is a different branch of the government than the president, you idiot. Biden didn't write the bill that congressperson is introducing. What the fuck?
That makes no sense. What makes sense to me, and honestly, some people will say, well, that's evidence of it. That's not proof. This is definitely proof to me. One of these could be considered evidence. Two of them, that's not a coincidence. This is proof that Trump controls the Space Force. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section. But I want to hear not just that I'm wrong. I want to hear why you think I'm wrong. And I try to explain why is it they're giving so much power to the Space Force when it comes to satellite communication for the U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy, and then abolishing the Space Force right after. That makes no...
Someone says in the comments, first of all, do you actually understand what Space Force is? It's not what you think, Peter. It's mostly office-based logistics, not spaceships and laser guns. Secondly, your perception of concrete evidence seems flimsy. You need to elaborate more. Peter says, it's alien technology, way more than office stuff. His evidence of this, I don't know.
No sense. The only logical explanation is that Trump set it up so that legally the communications, from the satellite communications from the U.S. Army and U.S. Navy had to transfer in October. And
that doesn't even make sense, Peter. Peter, listen to me. Biden is the president and therefore the commander-in-chief. So if Biden had any issue with this, he could just stop it. Unilaterally. That's a thing he could do. But I assume he just doesn't give a shit. It's certainly not at the top of his priority list. He might be fine with Space Force. I personally don't give a shit either way. Raven says, that's the thing about the Afghanistan thing. Conservatives are trying to desperately pin it all on Biden, even disregarding the fact that it's been a 20-year war. Congress is the one that signs off on wars. Ugh. I just hate everything.
it could not be stopped. If it could be stopped, Biden would be stopping this right now. He can't.
Why? Peter, you're using a circular argument. You're saying Biden would stop it if he could, but he's not, so that must mean Trump is in control because he must be in control because Trump is the only one who would want this because it's bad for Biden because Trump is in control. Round and around and around and around and around. You're just convinced that Trump is in control of the least significant branch of the military for no fucking reason.
Legally, for some reason, he can't stop this. At the same time, are trying to abolish the Space Force, which is a very good sign. Because think about it, if Trump controls the Space Force and Biden doesn't, which has been speculated, then they would attack it. And I hadn't seen so much attacking. And now the attack has begun days before communications are being transferred over. So this is very, very, very hopeful, exciting news. And what I love is that this is exciting news I can actually talk about on YouTube. I don't have to wait till my live stream. By the way, I'm sorry about how the debate for the vaccines didn't happen on Saturday, but I rescheduled. Unfortunately, this person, Kate, she cannot do a live stream at 9 p.m. She thought it was 9 a.m. Like, who does live streams at 9 a.m.? I guess she's not very tech savvy, but...
What?
That's not a tech savvy thing. Also... Are you not up at 9 a.m., Peter? You have a newborn child. What the fuck? Citosaurus says, you spin me right round, baby. Right round like a record, baby.
I will be doing...
Why does Peter take every opportunity to be a fucking asshole? What's up with that?
My live stream this Saturday, 9 a.m. instead of 9 p.m. Like, I have to move my schedule around. Because, anyway.
You're the one that didn't specify, Peter, that it was 9 p.m.
In fairness to Peter, he probably gets very, very high every night and can't be up for his children or to do debates. Speedy Oji says he cares more about this video and conspiracy theories than his kids. That's an opinion.
New vaccine debate is going to...
Yeah, Peter doesn't think Twitch has TOS, which is why I'm just waiting for the day he gets banned. I'm sure he will. He already doxed me on stream, so...
Oh, wait, what?
Peter
doxed my email on stream.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
I reported him for it. I don't know if anything will happen, but...
Saturday on Twitch, 9...
Like, I don't have an issue with him reading our email correspondence. That's fine. But he literally just put it up on the screen and showed my email. Like, Peter, no, what the fuck are you doing?
9 a.m. It'll be very exciting. I have bombshell scientific studies to completely debunk everything she's going to say. So I'm so excited to take her on. And I'm very excited for the future. I'm very excited for everything that's going on in my project, this channel. And thank you so much, guys. Let me know in the comment section if you're excited about this, if you're hopeful, if you think it's evidence, or you think...
Yeah, I heard he watched Razor Fist on stream too, which is another TOS thing because Razor Fist is banned from Twitch. Actually, Razor Fist may have been reinstated on Twitch now that I'm thinking about it. I thought maybe that happened. I'm not positive, though. I'd have to double check. Krizia says he was convinced that the Space Force had alien technology by Majestic 12, which he admitted duped him. He just has no concept of where he got his beliefs, so he doesn't prune his beliefs when his sources are finally so obviously bullshit he can't defend them anymore. Yep.
Think it's proof.
He did admit Majestic 12 was bullshit, and that's where he got the Space Force thing, but he's still going with it. What the fuck?
Do you agree or disagree? I want to know, doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, Independent.
Felix says, please take a screenshot of Peter's eyes when he lifts his eyebrows and looks like he's possessed by a demon. Nick says, honestly, I wouldn't report him for watching Razor Fist on stream because that rule is stupid and just discussing a video of them should be morally allowed. I get where that's coming from, but that's ripe for abuse. I don't know, though. I just follow the TOS to the best of my ability. I'm not here to talk about what's right or wrong about it.
And whatever you are, we're all people. We all want to make the world a better place. And
Peter opened his Telegram on stream a few days ago, and he's still following Majestic 12. He also doxed his own phone number on stream. He showed his phone number accidentally for a few seconds. He calls someone else tech illiterate. Genius.
And we all want to see the world be better, unless you're a bad person, which my viewers are good people. Even the Democrats are good people. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Even the Democrats are watching. Sorry if I've been harsh on you. And God bless you all, and God bless America.
This is the most recent one. It's also about Space Force. Nick says, big brain moves there, Peter. Tea with Goblin says, if you have time, here's some homegrown crazy conspiracy nutters who believe that the earthquake in Melbourne last week was the work of the cabal. Oh, no. Yeah, we can take a look at that later.
Welcome back, Patriots. It's Peter Hanna here. I want to add some thoughts to my previous video where I said that Trump controls the Space Force. I'm going to go even further with that and talk about something that I mentioned in my live stream last night. I don't think he just controls the Space Force. I think there's a specific reason he controls the Space Force. In the 1950s, you've heard of Roswell, right? A crash landed, they were alien bodies.
Didn't Roswell happen in the 40s? Like the late 40s? $1947. Why do I know more about that than you, Peter? Aren't you the alien guy?
Engineer the technology. And since that day, there was a new organization born called Majestic 12.
This is literally just like the backstory. Well, no, actually, no. Men in Black had a different backstory. I apologize.
The real Majestic 12. And eventually it ended up getting corrupted. But a lot of these projects that Majestic 12 were working on were black projects. They were secret projects from the government, and they were working on them, and they were advancing this alien technology. And at some point, I guess over decades, the U.S. government did collect a lot of alien technology and did reverse engineer a lot of it. I do think we have fleets of alien spaceships that can travel, you know, to another planet in just a matter of minutes, and that all of that technology is concentrated in the Space Force. A lot of people that theorize that, there's a lot of people that theorize that the Space Force...
This is basically the plot of Independence Day 2. Felix Night Owl says, wow, that's the first time I've heard Peter say anything kind about Democrats. Is this a new start? Can he see differences in people without thinking some worship Satan? Not broadly. It's just because this is a problem a lot of these kind of conspiracy theorists have. It's a similar trait shared by, like, racists or anti-Semites or whatever. If they meet someone and see they're a decent person, then to them, you're just one of the good ones. You know what I mean? But he's incapable of letting go of a general stereotype. You know, the Democratic Satanist baby-eating whatever. So that's a stereotype. Basically, that's what you are until you talk to him and prove to him that you are not one. But that's what he assumes Democrats are generally, or he thinks Democrats are idiots who are just too stupid to understand the machinations of God Emperor Trump.
Is a kind of way, you know, remember when a few years back, the Pentagon had to admit that they'd lost trillions and trillions of dollars. They lost trillions of dollars. They don't even know how many trillions they lost. That went into black projects involving reversing alien technology, almost all of it. And from my understanding, is that Trump got all that alien technology and put it into a branch called the Space Force and made these black projects.
None of this is true. Raven says, just so we're clear, he said the real Majestic 12 after the fake Majestic 12 tricked him. So, of course, if another Majestic 12 comes along, he won't be able to discern if they're the real ones either.
Somewhat public. One of the people watching me who is on the left said, don't you know the Space Force is a bunch of people sitting in an office?
Correct, because that's what it is.
But the fact is, the Space...
Don't get me wrong, someday, if we invent any sort of craft that's able to get into space as easily as we, you know, take off in jets or whatever, I'm sure then it'll be a it's obviously militarized, it's part of the military, but you know what I mean. It'll be a more weaponized branch of the military. But that's just not where we're at right now, at least not to our public knowledge, you know? I don't think that we have, like, little personal fighter space jets, like we're in fucking Star Wars. But no, Peter, that's not a thing. Peter, let's say we had spaceships. Let's say America had reverse-engineered spaceships, and we had little X-Wings. We had fucking X-Wings and A-Wings and Y-Wings and B-Wings. Those are all the Star Wars ship names I know. Let's say we had that. Peter, who are we fighting in space? Peter! No one else has spaceships! Who are we fighting in space, Peter?
Space Force is the most powerful.
I know he would say aliens.
Powerful military branch, and it appears to me, let me go in the comment section if you disagree, that Trump controls this powerful section of the military, and I've been saying for a long time, he has to control, at the very least, the Space Force.
Why? The answer is because if he doesn't, that means all of your conspiracy theories are moot. It's an argument from consequences, okay? That's not a good argument. D with Goblin says, space commies, Hannah, keep up.
He's gonna win.
They all congregate on the red planet. Raven says, the evil demon rat empire.
Against the deep state, because they have everything else. But since the Space Force is where the alien technology is at, that means that he has the upper hand all the time, because a few pieces of alien technology are way more powerful than 1 billion soldiers. If depending on which alien technology they are. So I'm very excited about this. Obviously, this is a theory that a lot of people have theorized. This is combining one theory with another, combining the theory that he controls the Space Force with the theory that the Space Force is a collection of all the alien technology collected by the government.
What proof does Peter have that there is alien tech again? Like, that there are aliens in the first place and that there's technology that they have that we don't? He claims he's been abducted by aliens like 5 times. I might have the number wrong. So that's why he thinks. Basically, he has sleep paralysis. And he got drugged once at a party. And another time his butthole hurt. And I'm not kidding. And he ascribed all of those events to alien abductions. Chrysia says, if they're more powerful than 1 billion soldiers, how the fuck did Trump ever lose anything, right? Slow Dog says, the constant repetition of the Space Force or Trump being the most powerful has a strong my dad can beat up your dad vibes. It's sad and annoying. Yep.
Government over decades. If true, this is very exciting, and I'm very hopeful about it. If you've gotten this far in the video, I just want to give you guys an update. I'm a little off my game today. I'm a little bit distracted. I've been having some personal issues.
Oh, well, that's it.
I got 2 family members who are, their health is declining, and it's pretty sad, and it's creating a lot of stress on me, my family, and my wife, and that's been weighing me down a lot. It's the one thing.
I don't think he's talking about COVID. I think he's talking about, at least one of them is probably his mother. I know his mom was dealing with, like, dementia or something like that. And it's actually sad because Peter was trying to... He thinks, like, weed or CBD is a cure for everything. So he had been giving his mom CBD. And he thought that was curing her dementia. It didn't, obviously, because that's not a thing.
In my life that's...
I just wanted to bring that up to as a thing. I'm not going to make fun of that. I'm not going to make fun of anything surrounding him having family members, being sick or ill. That's just sad.
It's really been, I've been struggling with.
Speedy Yoshi says, if he's giving the kids weed, someone in his life should probably tell CPS, not anyone in the stream or chat or anything. He might give them, like, CBD, which is not psychoactive, but I don't think he gives them weed. He's already been visited by CPS recently anyway. They didn't do anything.
And been pretty bothered by, but you guys, this channel, those nice, sweet compliments, those patriots who believe in me or trust me, or at the very least know that I am an honest guy who is a patriot, who's trying to make a difference. You guys leaving those comments in the comment section really do brighten my day. Don't think that I don't...
Was it the cult upbringing that fucked Peter up, or is it the education system fail him? I don't know if he even went to public school. He might have been homeschooled. I don't know.
Read the comment section. Sometimes I don't reply because the comment is too truthful, but I read every comment, and those nice comments actually do make a difference in my life, and I really do appreciate them. So God bless you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And last thing, I won't be doing a live stream tonight. I'm just going to take some time off. I plan on doing a live stream, but there's no news really to talk about, and I think I need some time to just relax and go in my man cave and contemplate life a little bit.
He's gonna go get super fucking baked.
Thank you everyone so much. I appreciate it. God bless you and God bless America.
Jesus Christ. Peter makes me sad.
Me too.
Alright, what's next? Time traveler Randall from the 33rd century, channeled by Brad Johnson. New Earth teachings. Oh yeah, we can watch the earthquake one a little bit. I just want to check this out first.
Hello everyone, Brad Johnson here, and in this video I'm going to be doing the introductory channeling to the entity known as Codename Randall. And so Randall is going to be talking about painting a picture of the 33rd century.
Actually, the earthquake video was really, really quick. We can watch that quickly.
Hey guys, just a quick one. I'm going to tell you 100% categorical that that was not an earthquake. It was not an earthquake. It come from the sky. It was HARP. 100% HARP. Michelle will know what I'm talking about, and Kylie. But
wait a minute. Did you send this because you needed HARP on the bingo card? Because that doesn't count if that's the case. You can't specifically send me videos that'll get things on the bingo card for you. Just so you know. That is HARP on the bingo card.
It's definitely was not from an earthquake, because we were absolutely shaking him.
For those who don't know, HARP is, conspiracy theorists believe it is a weather controlling device that the conspiracy group, the Illuminati, the Cabal, whatever they call them, they think they have.
That's why you used to not accept video submissions.
Yeah, but I like the video submissions. Anyway, I don't know if you guys know this, but an earthquake is not the weather, so that doesn't even make sense.
Sun nearly fell out of
An earthquake is a tectonic phenomenon. It is not a weather event. A weather machine would not create an earthquake.
bed. Our lights were just shaking everywhere. And I went outside. I could see my house shaking, but the ground, there was no movement whatsoever in the ground. Okay, so just be ready, because this is when I was talking about that fucking sonic boom thing that was going to fuck us. I reckon this is the start of it. They've seen the uprising of people, and they're going to try and fucking start this bullshit from the sky. All right? I am 100% categorical. It was not an earthquake. My horses didn't even get affected. They usually run for the hills when they feel an earthquake. I'm telling you, it's from the sky.
The earthquake came from the sky, and it was from a weather machine. Source: my horses.
Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and bring Randall through. Now, I am still very new to his energies, so sometimes there may be little bits of distortion in certain ways as I just attempt to recalibrate myself and really attempt to make sense of a lot of his energies that come through. But basically, as Randall has described it, he channels a little bit differently than Adronis does. He basically goes into an out-of-body state and basically melds his own fusion of his energy body with mine.
Nick says the best joke that's ever been typed in the chat, and that is, a horse is a source, of course. You don't get many Mr. Ed jokes in the year of our Lord 2021. Simple Cat Girl says, I really need to remember Sonic Boom is a real thing, not a funny cartoon. Rose Luna Shadow, thank you for 15 months.
My energy body. And basically we have that.
The horse who played Mr. Ed had the best job ever. He just gets to be a horse and eat peanut butter all day, and these dumb humans film him eating peanut butter to make it look like he's talking. What a good job.
That's simultaneous.
Are you aware of Mr. Ed?
What do you mean, am I aware of Mr. Ed?
The show? Do you know about Mr. Ed?
I mean, I've heard of it.
They got the horse to look like it was talking by feeding him peanut butter. Because he would, like, you know, be trying to get it off his mouth.
Spontaneous feeling and thought process that comes through. So it's a little bit more different than Adronis's particular perspective of channeling. But it might just take a minute or two to bring him through. Once he comes through, we'll begin and looking more into the amazing information that he has presented in my past webinar that was Adronis the Repopulation Protocol, where he introduced himself or debuted in that time. So just as a rundown of who he is, he basically represents a hybrid human being 1,200 years within our future. So he is part of another probable Earth, but it is intersecting together with our own Earth. So anyways, I'm going to leave more of the discussion to him, and I'm going to go ahead and bring through Randall and see what he has to share with us today about the 33rd century. Here we go. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll begin this transmission now. Hello, everybody. My name is Codename Randall. So again, that's just a little nickname that I like to present myself with. The reason why I've selected this name is because where we exist, we really do not have names as you term names to be. We exist, yes, in the 33rd century, as we have talked about.
I'm a little bummed out he's not doing a voice. Honestly, I've seen people do this and who do a voice, and it adds some dramatic flair that I think is well needed. Speak the Truth says, I'm more a Francis the Talking Mule person, but I'll take Mr. Ed.
In our previous dialogue with this channel. Now, we're just going to cut to the chase a little bit. As I've stated before, that this is that of a probable timeline, that we exist in a probable future, as you term it. It's not to say that all of the events that we're going to be talking about is exactly what you're going to go through in the exact time, or in that sense, timing of where it's going to happen. So really, in that sense, just look at this as a sense of perspective, making sure that you use your own discernment. We're not saying that everything here...
This guy's boring. That's a shame.
Information concerning that earthquake there in Australia.
Oh, this guy's also talking about the earthquake.
Good morning, everybody. May God bless you and keep you safe through the coming trials and
Ready for Perfect says, I didn't get a degree in linguistics for people on the internet to act like 1,200 years from now people would talk the same as we do now.
tribulations that are about to happen to...
Yeah. That's not what I wanted.
To our earth. God's children, stay strong and united in each other.
Ready for Perfect says, I didn't... I just read that one, sorry.
And in Christ, because you will be protected through that.
I was talking about a Call for an Uprising's patron thing earlier. That's why I posted that.
Yes. Unfortunately, there are more storms on the way for Pennsylvania. And I have to tell you, folks, that you might hate the voice that's explaining to you what's happening. You might try to understand or try to blame somebody for these happenings, but you really need to blame yourselves. I'm going to just take you on a little history.
I gotta pause this for a second, sorry.
Everything okay?
Just call fucking with Cirrus.
Oh, still?
Yeah, and he's saying he's coming for me next. Yeah.
History lesson when it comes to the weather. And I know there was somebody, I seen a documentary of a woman from Louisiana that was bullied, and she was profusely harmed by the people around her, and they kept squishing her life and her family's life. And she prayed really hard, and she prayed all the time that God would turn people to him, you know, and protect her. And she was protected till she was in her 90s. But the storms in Louisiana started to occur, and I know they are attributed to global warming, and that's one.
Speedy Yoshi says, that reminds me of how they all had people talk weird in After Earth because they wanted to show how humans would talk in the future, but it just sounded like everyone had a speech impediment. Yeah, that was a weird choice.
One factor, but it doesn't explain everything. And, you know, anybody that believes in God and knows his power in this earth understands that God can do whatever he wants to do. He can move the weather however he wants to move it at any time period, at any place in time or any place on the planet, to accomplish what he's setting out to do. So what exactly is he setting out to do, creating all these chaotic storms? And why would God do such a thing if he's an all-loving and mighty God? Well, first of all, God...
Oh, she accidentally stumbled upon the problem of evil. Fun.
Is the God of the universe. He is the God and the creator, the ultimate creator of everything, good and bad. Okay? He wants to love us, and a good father not only loves us and gives us our way, but he also corrects us when we're wrong. So God is really using these storms not only as a form of correction, but also as a form of submission. Okay, so you need to submit to Christ. How do people learn?
Yeah, no. If you murder people, you don't murder people you love. Let me put it that way.
I'm a top. I'm not going to submit to Jesus.
Would you dom for Jesus?
No, I'm in a very committed relationship to a wonderful woman.
Lilgard says, ooh, dom me, Sky Daddy. We're gonna raid Surus. I'm good. Call's hitting me up on Twitter.
Oh, Call has a Twitter?
It's a throwaway account.
Well, duh.
Yeah. So have a good night, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow for other stuff. Probably a whatever Wednesday. Who knows, though. We've been going for 3 hours, 15 minutes. So typical stream. So have a good night, everyone. See you guys later.